start us off by a little bit of immersion into the setting in which we find ourselves in. Never does a star grace this land with a poet's light of twinkling mysteries, nor does the sun send its rays of warmth and life. This is the Underdark, the secret world beneath the bustling surface of the Forgotten Realms, whose sky is a ceiling of heartless stone and whose walls show the grey blandness of death in the torchlight of the foolish surface dwellers that stumble here. This is not their world, not the world of light. Most who come here uninvited do not return. Those who do escape to the safety of their surface sanctums return changed. Their eyes have seen the shadows and the gloom, the inevitable doom of the Underdark. Dark corridors meander throughout the dark realm in winding courses connecting caverns great and small with ceilings high and low. Mounds of stone as pointed as the teeth of a sleeping dragon leer down in silent threat, or rise up to block the way of intruders. There is a silence here, profound and foreboding. The crouched hush of a predator at work. Too often the only sound, the only reminder to travelers in the Underdark that they have not lost their sense of hearing altogether is a distant and echoing drip of water beating like a heart of a beast, slipping through the silent stone to the depth, to the underground pools of chilled water. What lies beneath the still, onyx surface of these pools can only be one's guess. What secrets await the brave? What horrors await the foolish? Only the imagination can reveal until the stillness is disturbed. This is the Underdark. There are pockets of life here, and our story begins in one such a place. Captured by the Drow. You wouldn't wish this fate upon anyone, yet here you are, locked in a dark cave, the cold, heavy weight of metal tight around your throat and your wrists. But you are not alone. Other prisoners are trapped here with you in an underground outpost far from the light of the sun. Your captors include a cruel Drow priestess who calls herself Mistress Ilvara of House Mizrim. I'm going to go ahead and keep things sort of ordered in chat for those of you who like to keep notes. Over the past several days, you've met her several times, robed in a silken sort of garment and flanked by her two male consorts, one of whom bears fresh scars along one side of his face and neck. Mistress Ilvara likes to impress her will with scourge in hand and remind you that your life now belongs to her. Accept your fate, learn to obey, and you may survive. Her words still echo in your memory, even as you plot your escape. Darts. Today marks your 9th day since you first stepped foot into this prison. Greg, your character, you've spent most of your time here locked in the slave pen, emerging occasionally under heavy guard to perform menial tasks, chores for the captors' amusement. You still bear the marks of captivity, bruises, abrasions from rough handling, the imprints of chain upon your skin, and the heavy burden of uncertainty weighing upon your shoulders. During a third of each day, your existence became synonymous with toil and servitude. You were tasked with mundane chores as they were grueling, such as hauling water barrels, tending to chamber pots, and scrubbing every nook and cranny of the outpost, whether it beckoned for cleanliness or not. Sometimes you were given cruel and pointless tasks to occupy you and the other prisoners, much to the Drow's amusement. You'd coil rope or organize supplies or simply be made to move and stack rocks. often being forced to redo work that didn't meet the Drow's arbitrary standards. Your time within the confines of Valkenvelve has been marred by the relentless torment of one Drow in particular, one Yorlan Daskrin, Mistress Isvar's trusted lieutenant. Since the fateful encounter that left his visage scarred by the flames of your gun, Yorlan has made it his mission to exact retribution upon you, sort of subjecting you to lash after lash, each blow a cruel reminder of his enduring vendetta to make your life a living hell. Amidst the relentless toil and fitful bouts of sleep haunted by nightmares, you refuse to resign yourself to despair and remain vigilant, keenly observing your surroundings. Much to the astonishment and trepidation to your fellow captives, you succeeded in acquiring a formidable ally, a living spider, its size rivaling that of a tarantula, now under your careful, attentive care. Greg, as we get a glimpse of your character, would you like to briefly describe what we see?
So, other than the fact that obviously I've been stripped of most of my clothing, Tom, I think we discussed the Drows let me keep the hat.
Yes, for their own amusement.
Yeah. So I have nothing on but except a hat, that black hat, long hair, long unkept black hair. My eyes I tend to try and cover with my hat most of the time because of the searing red that they are. Other than that, you notice if you pay close attention, his skin's incredibly pale, not due to lack of sunlight, but probably for a medical condition that he currently has. And that's about it. He just seems like an old hunter-esque man.
Will there have been anything that your character would have shared with your fellow prisoners over these 9 days that you've been present here?
He tends to try and keep most of his stuff secret and whatnot, but
fair enough.
Yeah.
Perhaps deeper connections should be made at a later time. We'll be moving on then. So, Greg, your character is far from alone in this cell. Others here sulk in memory of days when the sun shone and laughter could be heard from one tavern offering far better lodging than this cold, hard ground. Another soul, battered but not broken, huddles in the shadows of this rocky tomb you find yourself in. This kobold arrived 8 days ago, accompanied by a pale-skinned elf whose obsidian stare gleams like dagger's points. These two understand, in a place such as this, adversity and existence are one and the same. They, too, have not been idle in their attempts to escape this place. Through joint effort, they managed to smuggle into the cell a rusted iron bar that can be used as a club and a flint shard that can be used as a dagger, along other uses up to your imagination. Both a treasure by their own right. Ivan first, then Will. Would you like to describe what we see when we look upon your characters?
Sure. During this time, you have met a small lizardman, kobold, black scales, and with eyes that look red, orange from time to time. You see that he is missing part of his leg, that when you see the Drow are pushing him to move faster, he seems to lose his balance and fall to the ground. Maybe he's that silly or he's planning something. Other than that, he's been trying to make acquaintance with the crew of you. And that's it. He called himself Flint. And he's bare naked, okay? I'm proud of it.
Fair enough. What about Will?
The man you see before you, he has long, scraggly white hair, but as it comes to the end of his hair, it's light purple to almost a dark violet at the tip. As you see him, his dark pearl eyes are ever looking and staring ahead. Over his left shoulder, and goes down his arm and up over the front of his left chest to go to his heart, is a detailed tattoo of an elven raven, where the raven's head lays over his heart. Along his back, legs, arms, and even his face, there are scars of wounds that have healed and mended and then been reopened. And on his arm, there is a tattoo in Elvish that has been marred many times over, but have been re-tattooed on over and over again, saying death is not the end, it is only the beginning. He would, throughout his time here, would be seen doting on his friend Flint, making sure he is all right, that he has enough to eat, and even at times giving his own food to his friend, so he had enough. Anytime he saw somebody being harmed, he would do what he could to stand in between it and take the brunt of it himself. And that is the man that is in the cell with you.
Our view then turns to follow the latest batch of prisoners to arrive at this outpost. We see young Eric Tane. Tane, despite the esteemed reputation of House Tane within the surface city of Waterdeep, noble lineage offered no protection from the cruel hand of fate. Even the Drow Captors, in their derision, have taken to mockingly dubbing you Firstborn Lordling Tane. What little semblance of noble attire or family keepsakes you had at one point, have been stripped away from you by your captors, yet a small reserve of wealth remains concealed upon your person. A solitary coin, gold in color, rendering you the wealthiest individual within this bleak enclosure. Repeatedly, one of your fellow captives, a deep gnome who goes by the name of Jimjar, has attempted to coax the coin from you through various wagers. Despite his persistent efforts, Jimjar has yet to emerge victorious in any bet, his relentless gambling tendencies proving increasingly irksome with each passing attempt, or perhaps otherwise serving to amuse you with his unwavering persistence. Manuel, as our view pans to give us a better look at Eric, what do we see?
Eric is a young human man with dark blue hair. His skin from his time here in these prison dungeon seems to be a bit more bruised than others, as if he's more easily bruised. He seems to be taking things a bit rougher than some of the other prisoners, as he's not used to the physical labor. But he's still holding out there. He's still staying strong. He's lived a life of having to stay strong
Fair enough.
and enduring hardships.
Another curious individual among our number is a woman whose features betray the lineage of her unique ancestry. Long wavy red hair cascades around her shoulders and fox-like ears peek through her locks. A pet mouse nestles in the crooks of her arm. Megan, is there anything you'd like to tell us about your character?
You'll see a young woman with a bit of fire in her eyes, but you can see from small scratches on her chin and along her arms that she's no stranger to hardship. And though she may be young, has already lived quite a difficult life, but still has the fire in her eyes to be able to move forward and Perhaps, well, she looks around. You see, she looks around a lot. She seems to be looking for something. But whenever she clearly doesn't see what she's looking for, she turns her attention back to her pet mouse.
Whose name is?
Nibbles.
Nibbles. I too had a pet mouse named Nibbles.
Nibbles. It's a very cute little kind of like little gray mouse.
I have a question about Nibbles. Is he a fat mouse or a skinny mouse?
How much meat on the bones?
It will matter. Yes.
Nibbles isn't very big. Nibbles, whenever a guard walks by, Nibble runs back up Brooke's arm and hides in her hair.
Cute. As you and your little mouse settle in, our gaze settles upon the final member of this unlikely band of captives. We behold a mountain dwarf of remarkable stature and rugged demeanor. He bears tattoos that start from the sort of back of his head and cascade down his neck and weave through his arm to his hands, each marking a symbol of his what looks to be like giant kin heritage, these runes etched into his skin. Alongside these intricate tattoos, scars adorn his body, sort of like testaments to battles fought and hardships endured. While the absence of a middle finger speaks silently of sacrifices made in the crucible of conflict. Hunter, as our focus settles upon you, is there anything you wish to share about your character?
In our time down here together, and the little time that has been, you'll notice that Kilgok is quiet, but not necessarily soft-spoken. He seems to not quietly accept his fate, but he lives with it, and he waits for the right moment. He's no stranger to living in unideal conditions.
As you await on the edge for a chance to pounce, your attention is focused down upon your hands as you scan your tattoos, and upon the deep, lashing bruises that have marked your skin red and purple where the cuffs have squeezed upon your flesh. A set of iron manacles and collar marks all of you as slaves. The manacles sort of connect to iron belts by a short length of chain. While wearing these restraints, you have found it very difficult to imagine yourself being as effective in combat, and thus resisting your arrest. Though you are less dexterous, your movement has not been impacted as much, keeping you just as limber to perform these various tasks that you were made to do. Nonetheless, keep in mind that you are restrained by these manacles. They'll be a challenge to get out of, but not impossible. As for the slave pan, I'll put us on a map. It is the Underdark, so darkness will be no stranger to you. Nonetheless, we find ourselves over yonder. Feel free to zoom in. It is quite a large map.
I do not have vision.
You do not have vision because your token is on here, friend. My apologies. I'm gonna fix that.
That is okay. Thank you.
There you are.
I exist.
You should be able to all have some sort of vision.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this campaign, those of you who have dark vision, you can differentiate it between your dark vision and true sources of light by seeing that where sources of light exist, you guys see it full color, and along the dark edges where your dark vision sort of takes over, it's a little bit grayscale, but not complete blindness. Alrighty then. The slave pen you find yourselves in is enclosed in this chamber with a heavy iron gate sort of bolted into the stone wall to the northwest. You can see through the gate where the guards stand there. Clay chamber pots are the sole comfort in this place where you were made to live as animals. Sitting or lying on the stone floor and fed only once each day, this thin mushroom broth that's served in small clay bowls pass through the gaps in the bars of the gate. As you partake in today's rations, you exchange wary glances with the other prisoners held here with you, captured during various raids and likewise awaiting transportation to Menzo Baranzan, the city of spiders, as it was called among your captors. You all share the same fate. Some expect to be sold as slaves, others await death at the hands of the Drow or their pets. As you study these fellow prisoners, what do? The stage is yours.
Do I have any fleas on me?
Roll for fleas.
What am I rolling?
Roll d20.
Understood.
Fleas are not out of the question at this point. It has been 9 days, and you have not been able to wash yourself. Maybe you've been able to sneak a little bit of splashing from nearby pools, but not a proper bath by a mile. You haven't felt the sensation of...
The more fleas, the better, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, there have been quite the bitch to get rid of. With a little bit of comfort you managed to scavenge for yourself, what with the nearby blankets, they're flea-ridden, so best to sleep without them.
Thank you.
What are we eating today?
Thin mushroom broth. Dare not even call it a soup. It is simply water with what little essence of mushroom remains.
Water.
And whatever, yeah, pretty much the, what's that alcohol drink that barely tastes like anything, just hot fizz. Anyways,
it's
essence of mushroom.
water.
Yeah.
Well,
Been the same meal day in, day out for the past however long you've been here.
mm-hmm. Eric.
Can't tell 'cause there's no sun.
Eric sighs as he takes a sip from his bowl and says, well, it's not going to get us sick. He just drinks, trying to fill his hungry stomach as much as he can with the water-flavored mushroom, with the mushroom-flavored waters.
It's not gonna get us sick. You hear like a nasty cough from one of the business.
Guess I'll drink my mushroom water as well.
LaCroix of mushroom.
You see Flint looking at the head of Brooke, looking for nibbles, as he sees his mushroom water.
Brooke looks up, and she kind of just looks at him, kind of like up and down, just like trying to assess him. And then she reaches out, she said, "Thank you," and just kind of looks back down, and gives it to Nibble. And in the meantime, she's just like mowing it down as if it's like the best thing ever. And you can tell that this is certainly, even though that she's only been here for 1 day, this is not the first time she's had such meager rations.
Denial is the first stage of depression.
Are we all in the same cage, or are there like 7 separate tiny cages that we're in?
No, you're all in the same chamber as laid out on the map. You do see the map, right, Tane? Or do your human eyes barely see anything? You're all huddled within the same quite large chamber. As you sort of scan your surroundings, you are all huddled up by a bonfire you've made, burning garbage, or whatever little plant matter you managed to scavenge around. You see the silhouette of like an orc in the shadows. He has his bowl of soup, and he's very unsatisfyingly like dipping like the bones of some poor individual prisoner who was here into the soup, just trying to like give the soup some substance as he crunches onto the bone, just gnawing on it.
Uh-huh.
Just bullshit.
Is everyone around us a guard?
Everybody around you guys is a fellow captive. The guard stands off yonder, like outside of the range of your vision, but barely silhouetted. You can see you know they're there. They're always there. They're always watching day and night, whatever day and night is in this place. But every single one of these individuals is a fellow captive that you've spent some time with, but never really engaged with until perhaps now.
Gotcha.
How high are these plants up on the wall?
They're about 10, 15 feet up. You look up and you see with your dark vision that the ceiling is sort of domed with this stalactites pointing down like teeth, and these plants are sort of glowing here and there between them.
For any reason, any of these plants have thorns.
You can't tell from this distance, but from what little time you've spent around here, most of the plant life here is more on the fungi and moss side, not so much thorned to deter predators, but more made to thrive in these moist conditions, and is finding other means to defend itself. If a plant wants to deter predators, you would imagine it would use poison more than physical thorns.
Okay.
Such is the way of the Underdark. At least not these plants. They're more bulbous in shape and seem to be having this bioluminescent glow to them that seems to attract these tiny, almost firefly-like creatures that perhaps serve to pollinate them or exist with these plants in a sort of symbiosis of some sort that you're not quite familiar with. After all, this is a foreign environment that you're still learning about. There's a certain beauty to it, and as you appreciate, one of the flowers just sort of opens its bulbous form into this like circular maw and just absorbs into itself a bunch of these bugs and then it closes back up, dimming its light.
Looking around, can Burke kind of get an idea of like who's been here the longest?
You have only just arrived. Everybody here has been here longer than you have. As far as we're concerned, you've arrived here to only within the last day to really speak to anybody yet, but you can always ask. Among your group, from what little you've learned, you know that Darts, the gentleman in the hat with his eyes veiled, has been here the longest among the people huddled around this fire. But Darts, to your knowledge, the rest of these prisoners have been here much longer than you.
Okay.
And we're expecting to be transported to Menzo Baranzan.
Menzo Baranzan is a city of spiders, a capital Drow. A Drow capital here in the Underdark. You are to be sold as slaves or made to be sacrifices.
Well, I have spent enough time here. I know I look cute, like a pet, but I don't intend to be one. Has anyone seen anything peculiar? Any opening in the guards or in these caves?
I can barely see the guards, much less an opening.
He's suffering from like light blindness. The brighter you make the surroundings in front of him, the more blind he becomes to his surrounding around him. Your eyes adjust better in the dark. Barely.
Guess maybe we should ask some of the other side. I know Shondar. It's quite perceptive. That's why they call him the Awakened One. And I point to the fish people.
The individual he points toward, specifically, those of you can see him over in this corner by the illuminated plants. He's sat upon the serene scene, nestled beside a fungus-encrusted stump. This aquatic hermit meditates silently. Those of you can see him upon close inspection. This creature resembles some hybrid of fish and humanoid with these catfish-like whiskers. You have heard of such creatures known by the name of Kuotoa, or fishfolk. The fungus that surrounds this Kuotoa emits a soft ethereal glow, sort of casting this corner of the slave pen chamber in a gentle blue hue with its bioluminescence. The ambient light dances across the creature's purple scales, accentuating the tranquility that seems to sort of emanate from him.
Do I know his name or something? Have I talked to him before?
Not yet, but you feel free to do so.
Anyone else want to talk to him? I'm not very charismatic.
You see Flint with his small legs. He approached to him, avoiding eye contact with the clerk.
The pitter-patter of your little feet echoes throughout the chamber. Some eyes follow you from the various dark corners as other prisoners take note of you, sipping from their bowls of soup. With his eyes closed, in a deep state of concentration, the Koto appears completely at peace, his breathing slow and steady as if in harmony with the rhythmic pulse of the Underdark itself. Around him, the chaos of the prison fades into the background, replaced by an aura of calm and serenity that envelops the chamber like a protective cloak. As you approach, he opens his eyes, their gaze meeting yours with a quiet understanding. There's wisdom in those eyes, a depth of knowledge that speaks of a lifetime spent in contemplation and introspection. Without a spoken word, you already sense that in the presence of this enigmatic hermit, you have stumbled upon something truly extraordinary, a beacon of tranquility perhaps amidst this dark, offering a glimpse of hope, enlightenment. Life, like the waters of the deep, is ever-changing and unpredictable. But just as the river bends and twists on its journey, so too must we adapt and flow with the currents, embracing the changes that lie before us with grace and resilience. Come, sit beside me and contemplate the silence.
He entertains him. He goes next to him and sits, trying to contemplate whatever he is suggesting.
What is thy name, tiny one?
Flint. True.
Flint. Yes, for I can see the spark in you. Potential. I am Shushar, the Awakened. He acknowledges his peaceful demeanor might contradict the otherwise reputation of his Koatoa kin that you may have heard about. They have a reputation for madness. Yet he speaks of a lifetime devoted to contemplation and solitary meditation, a journey he embarked upon to overcome the legacy of his people's instability. His demeanor is one of enlightened balance, calmly accepting his imprisonment with a philosophical outlook that speaks volumes of his inner strength. It is what it is, he muses, his voice serene. Who can say what end it might eventually lean towards? Isn't that right?
Yes, but what if we make it be something else? Do you have any idea how that could be?
Ideas come to me in silent solitude. As we meditate, we may discover the true essence of our being. It is in moments of reflection and introspection that we find our strength, I'm going to regret this accent, to endure. To persevere in the face of adversity and to emerge from the death stronger and wiser than before. and goes quiet for like an uncomfortable amount of time.
You see Flint put both of his hands in front of his face and just sighed, going down. Maybe meditating, or maybe like, oh, we're gonna die here.
If we die here, so may it be. For fighting is not wise. Pacifism is the path to wisdom. I shall not, by oath, harm others or defend myself if it comes to it. I shall face danger with serenity. If fate would have it, I will be delivered back to my people's safety. But I am not without youth. I offer to you my assistance, friend, free, as long as it aligns with my sacred vows of nonviolence. Despite our current predicament, I remain hopeful. I think fate shall turn in time, and my thoughts will turn toward my home of sloop loop doop boop boop. You pronounce it.
Slew blue dop.
It's for a sloop blue doop. You really have to, but people really are fans of the sloop sound. Like a
I think there's
bubble.
an invisible U in that dupe.
Sloop, like an umlaut. I shall return to my people and share in my enlightenment with my fellow Kuatoa. One day, we will together find peace and harmony in the depths of the Underdark. He returns to his quiet contemplation.
Let me know if the silence tell you something. As I go back to the heat of the fire to not freeze to death.
Learn anything useful?
Yes. Try to find peace before death find you. You will make it
Right,
easier.
right. Just try to find our inner peace towards the end.
We just sit there and all contemplate. It's like, well, we're not getting anywhere with that mentality.
I wonder, do you think anybody else here might have scavenged something of use? If we
You
can
said-
maybe, if any of the other people that have been here for longer than us, maybe they scavenged something. Maybe they have an idea of where to go when, if we get out of here.
Well, we can ask the other ones.
What is this
Only
guy
these-
in the corner doing?
I thought you
don't
couldn't
know.
see that far.
He's in the darkness, but I think he's illuminated by
One
the plant
of the
healer's
plants, by Shushur the Awaken seems to shiver and scoot closer to the meditating individual in the silence, finding safety in his shadow as he sort of stoops low and rests its mushroom cap-like head against his leg. It's a plant of some sort, no bigger than a cat by size.
Why don't you go say hi, Eric?
I look at my mushroom broth and then the moving mushroom. I'm like, I think I lost my appetite. Dump it in the fire.
As you brave perhaps one of the darkest corners of this cavern, your hand, Eric, steps upon the dry bones of some poor individual, the floor here laden with long dead corpses, and you approach a hulking figure which everybody in the right mind in this chamber has been keeping quite the distance away from. Nonetheless, you step there, and what you see is the following. A menacing presence commanding attention, a massive creature that dwarfs the fellow prisoners, its towering frame cloaked in a shroud of grey fur. It is a monster. But despite its menacing appearance, what truly sets this being apart is its regal attire that it wears. Though incongruous against the bestial form, the garments speak of noble lineage, adorned with intricate lacework and gilded thread that hint at elvish, fine craftsmanship of the highest order. Eric, you, more than anyone, recognize the noble garb and fine surcoat that drapes over the creature's massive frame. Yet despite its regal appearance, there's a primal intensity in its gaze. Just giving you the floor to respond to her information.
Is Mike cut out?
He
Alright.
muted himself.
It happens. I'll wait.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Me.
So for reference of the size of this creature, he looms over you, like twice your size, and he looks like this, but imagine him with like regal clothing on. A cloak, these silken garb with gilded thread, but a monstrosity nonetheless. But,
Out of curiosity, what's the last thing you guys heard me say?
nothing, you just kind of sort of approached silently to the one corner of the chamber.
Oh, okay. Eric was talking as he got up to leave, but it's fine.
Okay.
Rest in
As
peace.
he
Eric.
approaches this big guy, sort of looks his size over, up and down, and half jokingly, half dejectingly, he asks, "How did they manage to capture you?"
Bates me, old sport. I was just minding my own business when it just had upon me. I felt a little prick of a needle, and I was down here. It is quite a queer situation. But, well, my manners. He, despite his stature, bows low in a practiced motion of greetings. I am Prince Derendil. His voice resonates with regal air that seems out of place.
You're a prince?
I am.
Eric.
Of royal blood, indeed. And I do recognize one of my noble kin as well. Though my appearance may deceive you, I am in fact not a Quogoth, but an elf. I hail from the kingdom of Nelrindenve, in the High Forest. Perhaps you've heard of it. Our realm of noble lineage and honor. Trapped within this
Yes, of course.
cursed guise.
Eric gives him a standard noble greeting. And he says, "Yes, of course, I've heard of much of where you hail from as part of my own studies. How did you end up trapped in that body?"
A curse most vile. This cursed guise of mine, I am torn between my true self and the beast that threatens to consume me. But do not pity me, for I still cling to hope. Hope for redemption, for a chance to reclaim what was stolen from me. And though the savagery of this form may surface to show its ugly visage, know that beneath it all, the heart of a prince still beats within me, yearning for the day when I return to the surface of the world and reclaim my rightful place.
Aren't we all hoping for the day we can return to the surface? Do you have any ideas or anything that you've been thinking of?
Unfortunately,
Yes, in a quieter voice.
Unfortunately, I did not have the chance to speak to any of my fellow prisoners here. They seem to fear me. I suppose I couldn't blame them. You are the first to brave acquaintance with one such as I, for which I am thankful. Perhaps you can
Eric and
aid me as I can aid you. This curse of mine may be lifted if we find a way to the surface. You see, it was placed upon me by an evil wizard. His name is Terester. Perhaps you've heard of him? You have not.
I haven't.
I swear, when we find our way back to the surface, I shall have my vengeance and make him turn me back to my beautiful self once more. By your camaraderie, we can escape, perhaps, if you have a plan. I'm yours.
Nothing so far. Still trying to come up with ideas. I can't even really see the guards from where they stand, much less try to search for any openings.
I can share with you what I know through the little that I've gathered here. Let me see here. Some information the prisoners might know that would be useful for you. For the guards, there are 19 all in all, by my count, throughout this entire outpost, including Ilvara, Shur, and Yorlan, as well as another priestess, by name, what was it? Asha, I believe. There are also a dozen Quaggoth and a number of giant spiders, the nasty sort, not as refined as I. At this very moment, by my sight, using my elven senses, I spot 3 guards watching our slave pen at the moment. One at the gate and 2 others just across from a hanging guard tower, across the rope bridge. You can see it just past the locked gate.
I mean, if there's only 3 of them, and there's how many of us? 12? I guess they are armed.
And we are not. Well, save for... he looks at his claws, but I'd truly rather not unleash the beast. Come, let's have a more civilized conversation by the fire. Perhaps your friends will be a little bit more accepting of me than the other prisoners. And I could use the company.
Yes. I was actually... When I first approached, I was curious why you were so far away from the warmth of the fire. Why don't you come join us?
He gorilla lumbers over on all 4s toward the fire, and the rest of you, the group, see this hulking beast begin to maneuver over, led by Eric, minute size, and then he sort of stands up straight and proud and awaits Eric to introduce him.
I already forgot his name.
Disappointed, is it?
Derendil.
I am Prince Derendil, and he just so disappointed sits by between Brooke, just trying to scoot over. Excuse me. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. He grins. You can see like 2 bottom fangs just fucking overlap his upper lip.
He says he's an elf of royalty that's been cursed in the body that you see now.
I'm the Duke of Waterdeep.
Mockery. I would expect nothing less from a Nightwalker.
You would see that Duma is quite tense, staring at Prince Derendil, staring at his form as he's a monster. One Duma probably has hunted in the past in the Underdark, or perhaps another place.
He meets you gaze, and you can see a look of worry upon it, and he offers you a very shy smile. It's awkward, held, and it's like, I shall put on some tea. Yes, yeah, tea. He uses clay bowl, and there's soup contents within it, and then like a little bit of like what looks to be like ground dried leaf that he's managed to scavenge, and he just puts it above the fire and holds like it's not as good as back home, but it kept me sane so far.
Oh, how much of the beast is within you, and how much of you is the beast?
Well, it depends how much trouble one gives me. I tend not to let it out for no reason, but I do have times when one hits a nerve, and you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Let's just say that. Ooh, that's hot.
My second question is, if you do let the beast out and get angry, how do we help you come back.
I would prefer you run as far as you can, hide till I'm back to my senses. I wouldn't want you to risk. Bless you. I wouldn't want you to risk yourself.
We might be risking.
Did you puke a little? What was that?
The soup.
It's a soup. Come back up.
The mushroom soup.
It might have been a little rock that had mushroom in there.
Yeah, maybe. I thought it was a little hard, but being a dwarf and all that, living with giants, what's a pebble,
Mike, how strong are you? If we were able to get out and get towards that tower, would you be able to take out that tower?
I say that would be quite an accomplishment, but I'm afraid no. The tower he's talking about is a structure, a building, made from a very large. We're talking like 30-foot wide stalactite from the ceiling.
Oh,
that has been hollowed out and used as a guard tower. And there are these like rope bridges made of spider silk attached from all sides. To provide access to it. Prince Derendil would likely not be able to knock it all down in one go. We would need something quite explosive for that.
I don't mean to upset anybody, but looks like there's a giant spider outside the gate too.
There is.
I couldn't quite tell, it's a little dark. But whatever it is, it has more than one set of eyes.
As if the guards weren't bad enough.
I have a feel. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I have nothing else to add.
I have a feeling that even if we do get out, the initial push will be a fight. But then if we cling to the shadows, perhaps we might find a way. But if we can figure out where their armory is, or perhaps where a tent of useful supplies, we can at least get some armament to protect ourselves. I don't know what your skills are, but I was a scout and ranger.
There it is.
Derendil.
Sorry, I was looking for it. You were a scout and ranger. Oh, sorry. You were a scout and ranger.
I am. I fought in a war before, and that's the title I was given. I scouted ahead for them. I was keeping an eye out on anything that might be a problem. And if I was able to take him out in one shot, I would. But I don't have my bow. I don't have arrows. I'm more useful with those, or perhaps a dagger. But as for strength, I have none.
I can tell you do seem a bit on the sleepy side. Here, this will perk you right up. And he offers you, I don't have any cups or mugs, he just offers you the bowl of makeshift mushroom tea.
He'll take it, look at it, sniff it, have a little bit,
It's rancid.
then offer the rest of Flint.
Through this exchange, Brooke just you just see Brooke kind of just look down at her hands, cradling the bowl, and then just kind of smiles at Duma's comment about no strength and needing a weapon.
The tea smells rancid, as if made by somebody who never made tea before. The leaves are burnt to the bottom of the freaking bowl and shit.
Prince.
I'll try to drink it anyway.
Oh.
Gross.
How is it, Eric?
Oh, who is it? Perks you right up.
She looks over to Derendil and is and inquires. You said that no one had the chance to speak with you, but how long have you been here?
Days.
Days. Have you seen any prisoners? Have any prisoners been already taken away from here since you've been?
No, it's quite a number of us here sort of piled up. I would expect that they would be coming soon, if not running late.
Okay.
Time is
Eric
of the
does his
essence.
best to maintain. Eric does his best to maintain just a small smile on his face as he sips the tea. Says, "Well, not like home, but it's tea."
It will perk you right up and keep you all cheery, despite the awful thought that I suspect it might be a matter of days or 10 days before a contingent from Manzo-Barons arrives to take prisoners back to the Drow city. I would rather not be here when they arrive, if I could help it.
10 days, you said, is when they're coming?
I'm not sure. Days or 10 days. 10 days is the word for weeks in the Forgotten Realms. 4 weeks in the Forgotten Realms are made of 10 days. 3 of them make a month.
Okay.
Perhaps we should continue and speaking with more people. You are all new to me, so perhaps we should continue.
I concur. There's strength in numbers.
And with that, she finally puts her bowl down and kind of pats Nibble's butt to get back up her shoulder as she gets up and approaches the fellow over here.
The fellow over there. Let me see here. You see a small, seemingly frail figure that catches your eye. A dwarf adorned in crimson robes that hang loosely upon his slender frame. Despite his advanced age, there's springly energy about him as he paces about the confines of the prison cell, his lips moving in a silent conversation with unseen companions. His skin, dark like the night sky, hints at a life spent beneath the Earth's surface, while his lengthy white beard and mustache betray the wisdom of years gone by. As you observe him, you notice a glint of intelligence in his pale eyes, a cunning that belies the frailty of his appearance. With each stride, he exudes an air of confident aura, his demeanor disarming and gregarious. When his gaze meets yours, he offers a kind smile. The expression is warm, genuine. This is Bupido, a Daru unlike any you've ever encountered before. Outwardly affable and driven by grandeur and divine purpose. He moves with like this grace of a predator, his every action calculated and precise, as if following the dictates of higher power. Those of you who spent some time around Bupido noticed he possesses a keen intellect and sharp wit. Bupido's friendly nod, accompanied by a soft murmur, barely audible, yet tinged with unsettling certainty. All part of the plan. All part of the divine plan. He seems to whisper to himself as you approach. As you approach, his eyes alight with fervor. Bupido launches into this fervent monologue, speaking of his grand purpose and the divine that will guide his every action. You see, he begins, his tone almost conspiratorial. I have been chosen by the divine hand. I am but an instrument of his will, a vessel through which his divine plan shall be enacted. Each sentence punctuated by a manic gleam in his eyes. And you, my friend, you are part of the plan. Together, we shall escape this wretched place, for it is ordained by the gods themselves. What do you do?
Thank you, gentle sir. You seem that you've seen many things, and you speak of escaping this place. Oh, none of us had the spelling right.
We tried.
Bupido.
Torpedo.
Oh. But may I ask who is him? You speak of him. Who is that?
Him, the divine light that guides. The true God. The old God. I have his name. It will come to me in a moment, should I close my eyes and seek it. Hold on, Megan's asking the big questions.
Come on, she monk.
The Darrow God, Din Karazhan.
Oh boy. You're gonna have to put that in chat.
Din Karazhan.
Din
Karazhan.
Karazhan. Oh boy. I wasn't that far off. I actually was only missing the second I. Good on me.
Only a true disciple of Din Karazhan can spell his name right for the first try. But you,
Oh my god.
my to-be acolyte, my disciple, you will learn in time.
You said that I was part of a plan. Do you have an idea of how to get out of here?
I do. It is close now, the moment, the chance. You'll see. I've seen the visions. We only need wait now. He comes. He lives at that. He's very much divinely driven and mysterious in that way, with a fervent intensity that borders on madness. Bupido sort of paints a vivid picture of a future filled with glory and conquest, his god complex laid bare for all to see, and though his words may seem outlandish, there's a chilling certainty in his demeanor, and despite any unease that might gnaw at the edges of your mind, he has a gift. There's a glimmer of hope in Bupido's words, hope that perhaps you might be able to use. A promise of freedom and salvation that beckons like a distant beacon that encroaches ever closer and is so close now, on the cusp of revelation. He seems fearless at the current prospects, gregarious, friendly, smiling towards you, putting this sort of nice face and trying to his best ability to make a good impression upon you, so you may aid him in this divine purpose. And he just returns his whisperings, all part of my plan, all part of the divine plan.
She looks back at the group surrounding the fire and then back at Bupido?
Bupido.
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 His eyes are roll back.
and studies him for a moment and then slowly begins with, I am relatively new on my path of discovering the gods, but I do understand the unexplainable coming through.
Watching him is like watching somebody who's all coked up, has all this energy to him, and you're just speaking slow to him, and he's hanging on every word of yours, yes. The unknown, yes?
You make me laugh.
He's wringing his hands while you're thinking about your words. He's looking toward the half corpse hanging by manacles on the wall, and he's smiling at it all the while. Yes?
But I understand there are things beyond our control of a divine nature.
Speak to yourself.
Would you like to come and join us at the fire?
Of course. As profaned, I shall join you in the fire. Smiles.
Around the fire.
Kilglock's eyes kind of go wide
Because
he hears in fire.
Eyes go a little bit crossed to either side.
Puts the hand out and is like, no, let's sit on the rocks around the fire, to be clear, and follows him back.
I'm no fool. I understood the first time. Friends, salvation is at hand, he announces to the rest of the group as he approaches. For I, Bupido, will see you to salvation. Grackelstuch, he murmurs, his voice low and urgent, is our salvation. It is a place of untold riches, where weapons are forged in the fires of the earth, and armor is wrought from the finest ores. If we are to stand any chance against the dangers that lie ahead, we must escape this place and journey to Grackelstuch. There, you can acquire the equipment you need to survive, and more importantly, I can find a way to return to my people. I know the way. Whether by land or by a dark lake, I can lead us to Grackelstuch. But we must act quickly, for time is of the essence. With a determined nod, he lets the silence settle. He sets his sights on a path ahead, his mind already racing with plans and schemes to ensure success of his journey.
How do you spell that place? Oh, you were putting
Grackelstuch.
Every time he spells it slightly differently.
That's true.
Copy, paste.
Tom, you'll be proud of me. I'm actually attempting to take notes this time.
Take your time. Think about how your character would react to any of this information. There is a foulness to cell. I am weakened by my mere presence here, but not these shackles, not this collar. There's something else in the air. Do you feel it? Exactly. The nothing. The nothing in the air. Anti-magic.
Anti-magic.
It befouls my senses and mutes my power. I must get out of here. We must get out of here. Yes.
Is there a way to tell, out of character, if there's anti-magic?
You see him trying to go through some gestures of some spell or another, but no spark escapes his fingers. No puff of smoke. Maybe he's just faking it. You don't know. If he's a spellcaster, you don't know this guy. But that's what he's doing.
Would we get in trouble for casting a spell in here?
Yeah, he's saying like that about the aura, and like try to put a finger up and see if it produces a tiny amount of flame.
Nothing.
Does it?
Nature does not heed your call here for some reason or another.
I would like to talk to the lady with red hair.
Fair enough. Baruch is right there.
No, not that one. The one behind me.
Then walk on up. Go chat with her. She doesn't look like she bites too hard.
You'd
Don't
be
be nervous.
surprised. Small animals have very dangerous bites.
As you look at this tiny little, she's only like 5 feet tall, very slender little like fox girl.
Even shorter than that, a fiery-haired dwarf woman kneels nearby, her determination evident in every resolute strike against her iron restraints as she bashes metal against stone again and again. With each blow, she seeks to weaken the bonds that hold her fiery spirit undiminished despite the bruises that now mar her wrist. Through pain, and though pain flinches across her face, she wipes sweat from her brow and presses on, her defiance unyielding and her stubborn resolve unwavering as she sends sparks flying with each clang of the metal. What do you do?
I ask if she wants help.
Aye? You got a way to get out of these?
I find a bigger rock.
Well, I need me hands for me craft. But,
Not that big of a rock.
well, then it's too small to do the job. Oh, I mean, screw it. Give it a go.
Might as well.
Okay, make an unarmed rock attack against the manacles. Roll me that d20. Add your strength.
The guards don't care that she's trying to break her manacles? Or is it
That's
not very
it.
loud?
That's a 13 plus 3.
13 plus 3, your rock shatters against the hard metal. Dwarven maid, I didn't think that would work, but it was worth a try. Seems like the guards are as confident in the resilience of these manacles against this individual's efforts.
I see.
I mean, she'll get out of her cuffs, then what? She's still locked in here, I mean.
True. And then back in cuffs.
I am Eldith Feldren, she declares, her voice echoing with pride and determination. You?
Pleasure. I am Kilgok Orenstone.
Fellow kin?
Yes.
But you're not of the Shield Dwarfs.
No.
And yet your spirit burns with the fire of my ancestors' resilience. That's honorable.
Thank you. I was raised by giants.
Were you? I see.
Yes.
I see their mark upon you. Oh, that's fine work. Made by a true rune carver, I bet. Rare that.
They were.
Tell me about it. We have the time, after all, and she returns to cleaning her manacles.
Well, you see. So I was told. But as a young child, I had very weird dreams. Night terrors, I suppose. And my mother and father, superstitious in their own rights, took me to the only reasonable place they thought befitting such things. And that was to a storm giant.
Big problems require big solutions.
Yes, apparently the big solution was finding a babysitter tall enough to put someone in their place when they have a night terror.
Tough love?
No, they were kind, but turns out giant soothsayers are actually really good at putting babies to sleep. Who would have thought?
Like with a club to the head?
No, actually, it's hard to recall because I would always pass out exactly as I started to hear it. It was
the club,
kind of like no.
With the whoosh of it.
I was always told it was like a chant, but now that you say that, maybe it really was a club. I guess I would never know. I don't have a bump on the back of my head, do I?
Not as far as I can tell, no, but maybe the damage is internal. Nonetheless, it is a pleasure to hear that story of yours. It might come to use. I have very limited knowledge of giants myself. I'm more acquainted with my own kin and people. But you've told me your stories. I suppose it's only fair if I tell mine. Before these manacles and chains, I was a scout from Gautengrim. You know not of dwarven grandeur until the day you set your eyes upon its halls, where our people thrive in sanctuary. Make no mistake, these chains and the magic wrought by the dark and corrupted shall not hold me here. Cursed elves, their corruption stained the very soul of the Underdark. Justice must be served, and vengeance shall be mine. Though my stubbornness may lead me into danger sometimes, I will not falter in my quest for freedom. First order, get out of the cell. Second, my warhammer and shield, symbols of my loyalty to Gauntlgrim, shall be retrieved, no matter the cost. Third, I shall carve earth and stone until nothing lies on my path back to Gauntlgrim, where my brethren shall raise a tankard in cheers for every drow head we bring with us. What say you?
Well, every avalanche begins with a single pebble. Count me in.
Duma, on hearing about Gauntlet Grim, tilts his head and speaks Dwarvish to her. Do you mean, did you follow King Bruno Battlehammer?
Aye. He's me father.
The whole group will see Duma stand up, kneel, and bow his head, and then speak in common again. I fought along with the other battalions. For your right. I fought in the battle. I saw how much you threw down. Your pride, your fury, your strength. It is unmatched against whatever you fight. I have never fallen ill to trusting a dwarf. I used to scout for your crew. I used to be the one to go through and actually pinpoint where you must attack. I even helped lay traps with some of your trappers and hunters.
Well, if we get out of here, that would be very useful. We could use a scout.
If you do you know anything in here besides bone that I might be able to use to try picking the lock?
No finer steel than dwarven steel, and these elves, they take as much as they can from Gratelstuch, the city of blades. That's dwarven forged iron and steel. No better weapon in all Underdark. Perhaps even some adamantium if we're lucky. I say we take it from their hands and get out of here. Somehow. Once the window is open to us. You have fight in you, I can see that. Especially you, and she points toward darts. You've done a number on old Yorlan. That Drow warrior, he suffered disfiguring injuries. And I bet that you had something to do with it. You, from what I heard, have a talent for flame and fire.
Gets the job done.
I bet that contraption of yours, I bet they took it too, stowed it somewhere in their confines.
Maybe they took it apart. I'll find out. I'll put it back together. Hopefully.
Hopefully. And do not fret, you're not the only one who lost something. Yorlan lost something too, not just his looks, but his station. And station to the Drow is something special. He got demoted, you see. Thanks to your little scar there, replaced by Shure. I'm sure that might have stirred the pot a little.
Well, that explains the whipping.
Speaking of a weapon, I saw Yorlan wielding a special one indeed, not dwarven made, along the more magical. This odd wand that shoots globes of sticky material able to trap targets. Shure now carries it as a sign of the change in status and promotion. If we happen to get our hands on it, it could be very useful. Regardless, we should watch out for it and not find ourselves on the other end of it, lest we be right back in the cell.
Well, maybe we can get a few more of the people in here on our side. For assisting us in busting out. I'm not that great at, I don't know, acting. But if we can get someone in here, then maybe we'll have a chance with the door open. It might be a mad dash across the bridge, but we'll have to figure something out. The entire talk about them talking about breaking out, I'm guessing this is a drow up here to the north?
Looks like it. Looks like the drow have imprisoned one of their own.
How is he? He's probably listening into the conversation. How does he seem like he's acting? Like, is he showing interest, or does he look more like he's interested in telling a guard?
He's staring into space.
Should we talk to him? Perhaps he might understand his own kind.
He looks male.
He.
So it's probably fine to talk to him.
Okay.
I was thinking that and the orc.
Who wants to take the orc, and who wants to take the drow?
I'll take the orc.
I'll take the drow, I guess.
The dwarf just says, "Good luck." She looks at the orc with like harsh disdain, like hate.
Duma will stand up, walk over to the orc, his hands in front of him, tilting his head to see what he's up to.
The orc brute glares at you and has been doing so for quite a while. Let me show you what Raunt looks like. There he is. It's Mork.
No!
He has been doing it for quite a while, this glare. You see fresh battle scars mar his arms, and a brand on his neck marks him with the symbol of his tribe, the wickedly spiked Aegis of Clan Ice Shield. With a simmering hatred in his gaze, he mutters a guttural threat in what you would guess is Orcish. Sounds like a threat, but I don't think you speak language.
No, he does not. Duma will reply with a smile. I'm just curious, friend. If you would rather use that rage on something else and might allow us to get out of here.
His gaze narrows with like hatred and suspicion. His brutish features contorted into like a scowl of distrust. He doesn't seem to understand your words. He just snarls. He braces himself defensively, his stance radiating hostility and menace as he goes to reach for a sidearm and realizes he doesn't have one.
When he reaches for a sidearm looking aggressive, Duma will just hold up his hands calmly and literally just say, like, give him like almost a look of at ease, like calm down. He would point at the guard and literally make a hand symbol of break, like break out, like breaking and going through the door, and give the symbol of like fighting.
He seems to be physically mocking your thin arms.
Does he have anything on him? Like anything at all that might be unique or something right? Whoops. Duma could like quickly snatch.
His bowl?
Yeah, snatch that bowl.
Okay.
His loincloth? You want to snatch his loincloth? I don't know.
Don't need to make the girls blush. No, Duma will try to snatch the bowl from his hand, and then if he succeeds, he will offer it back to him.
Roll me a strength contest.
Strength? I thought it was gonna be like acrobatic, just sleight of hand.
Like he's holding it in both his hands. He sees you reaching for it, and his hands clench. Strength, please.
Strength?
Yes.
Athletics or just strength?
Strength.
-3. Oh, -2.
You grab onto the edge of the bowl and you go pull, and it doesn't even nudge, and he just looks at you like, and he just like smacks your head in with a bowl, and it just shatters. And he's now less angry about you trying to snatch a bowl than you have been broken it. And he says, "You did. You did." At the same time, as this chaos unfolds and he goes to rise up and loom over you, fuming, you see a little toadstool of a mushroom hobble over on
Shit!
4 feet and cough out a puff of spores that go into your nostrils, into his eye ducts, and he just goes. And when he speaks, you understand his Orcish somehow, innately, translated in your mind. "What are you doing, runt? Think you can just come waltzing over here and start yapping at me? Think again, puny. You looking for a fight?"
Duma will just stare at him. He's like, "How did I understand you? No, I came over here asking if you wanted to use your strength to go and beat up some drow and get out of here and break out and, have a bit of fun smashing in some skulls."
"Smashing skulls is fun, aye. but Drow
fun.
are all the way over there, and you, Tiny, are all the way over here. I am looking forward to this scrap. I'm gonna smear you all over these walls. Come here.
Oh, shit.
I don't think
should-
you want to do that.
Should we do something?
Give me one
I'm
reason.
I'm not strong, but I'm very dexterous. And no offense, I've had crossings with your kind, and you're very strong and brutal. And I think that we could have fun together. Our little group over there is trying to, let's say, escape. And I thought you might want to join using that strength of yours.
Roll persuasion.
Oh, fuck.
With disadvantage because you tried to take his ball as a prank, whatever that was.
His bowl.
I'll give you my bowl. 4. Fuck.
He reels back like, cross this. And then you make your argument. He's like, but you owe me a bowl.
Dumo will just give him his.
Takes
There's
it.
another skull over there I can use. But trust me.
Another
think
skull? Like, humanoid skull?
No. Yeah, he uses a bowl.
That's hardcore. Respect.
Survival, man.
We're here to survive together.
He stashes the
If you
ball
want.
into the back of his loincloth.
If you
The
want.
back of it?
Oh, it's
What
gonna
if
be a
it
nice
was
stain
a
there.
Cup or something?
You got a problem with that?
Don't ask. Ask. Show
Alright.
you.
But does freedom sound interesting to you?
Yeah. And they call me stupid. Of course it sounds interesting to me.
So why don't you come sit by the fire with us, and when everything goes down, you get your chance to kick some ass with some drows. Smash some
Okay.
skulls in.
Alright. But I get a big rock.
You can have the biggest rock you want. You can have the one that Dart's sitting on.
Yeah. He goes over to you, Flint, and he just shoves you over. Move over, Tiny.
How tall is the orc?
I roll over as he kick me.
Looming like he's like 7 feet. Orc.
Well, he's not that big.
Sure am. Finest warrior of Clan Ice Shield.
But you're here.
Shut up. Punches you in the shoulder. You talk too much logic. Oh, Flint, he looks toward the this heavy built muscular orc that just looms over you. You see his face twists in a cruel, intimidating, self-absorbed sneer as he points a fat finger at the iron rod that you and Duma found. That's a weapon. And that weapon is no good in your tiny hands, Tiny. It's mine now. Give it here, whelp.
I don't let it go. But if he pick it up, he will lift it with me, hang into it.
He picks it up with you, just still hanging out to it. It's like, you were a kobold. I know you're kind. Dragon praising, all that like. Want to become a dragon? You want to learn to fly, little kobold? I'll teach you.
Oh, shit.
Like in a second, Flint recovers. He remembers his ancestry, how they survived. Please, no big warrior mighty of the big clan, don't do this to me. Take the club, it's yours.
Yeah. Bow before your chieftain. A fine gift this is. Now there's a start. With this, I'll get us out of here.
Okay, quickly, somebody hit him. You have advantage. Kill him.
It's okay, Flynn. I'm sure there's gonna be something else outside that gate, and if he wants to run in with the bar and smash some heads in, it might be some use for us.
Mm-hmm. Flint, you can tell this guy's a bully. If nobody stands up to him, he's gonna just keep bullying you out of your things.
Yeah.
We could all just gang up on him and beat him to an inch of his life.
Could be useful though to have a big brute.
I mean, we could just leave him to die.
As you
Out of
guys
character. Out of character.
I'm assuming this is all above the table, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, easily he goes down eventually,
nibbles
but I
across
mean,
the fire,
we need it.
and you can see like her ears kind of turning, just kind of paying attention every now and again, a little giggle at the interaction happening across the fire from her.
I'm gonna use this as my club, and you, he points toward the dwarf. You, I'm gonna use my shield.
Which dwarf?
Which dwarf?
The one across the fire, on the
that
literal polar opposite end. Seems to be some sort of a rivalry or hatred between them.
She probably beat him once.
She
Now he's madly
wishes.
in love with her, but he can't admit it to himself.
Then I saw her face. I'm a believer. Alright.
I guess I'll go talk to the Drow. That leaves only two other prisoners.
One other. Because Flint already talked to the fish man.
What about this man?
Yeah,
Duma, Duma, you before you leave the fire, you see Ront just shove like a human skull in your into your hands. Cheers.
cheers. He'll drink from it. He doesn't care.
Gross.
You do what you gotta do and what to live.
That guy also
Eric
talked
will
too
try
much.
to-
Yep.
Eric will make his way to the guy in the left corner.
Whichever one of you wants to go first. I'm not sure why we're doing this mono-on-mono. You guys can do this as a group, but sure.
Fun that way.
Alright. Who's first? Who do you
8
approach?
people.
I guess
Here.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
I see. You were talking to both of us. My bad.
yeah. So you see what do you see? A male gnome excitedly immerses himself in a game of dice with himself, I guess. Nah, you know what? Fucking Elvis is here. If he plays with himself, it's weird. Anyways, game of dice. The gnome, you see he wears his freckless rogue persona like a badge of honor. His devil-may-care attitude evident in every smirk and gleam of his gilded teeth. With a voice brimming with enthusiasm, he says, "Hey, compadres, name's Jimjar." With a quick wink, he extends his hand for a handshake, his grip firm and confident. "Pleasure to meet you." So how's it going,
Eric will
Goncho?
shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Eric will shake his hand, say, Grimgar. Jimjar, how long have you been here for?
Too long. Can't wait to get out.
Haven't. Aren't we all in the same place?
Alright, we all. But, fret not. Seems that while luck hasn't been on your side lately, don't sweat it. Our fortune's about to change. In fact, I'm willing to put some coin on it. What do you say, amigo? Care to make a wager?
What's exactly... What do you mean fortune's about to change? What do you know?
What do I know? What don't I know? I am the mighty Jimjar. I've got a bit of a thing for coin, you see. Whether it's a daring challenge or just a random bit of luck, there's nothing I won't bet on. And with this
Yes.
playful grin,
I know.
mischievous
Go on.
as he is, next time they let us out of here and put us slaves away doing whatever, I bet 10 gold pieces you can't pocket something out of there and sneak it back in here without getting caught.
You want to bet that I can't do that?
Yes.
I'm not taking such a bet, Jimjar.
Oh, come on, sport. Come on, Goncho. A little wager. Come on, at least you will pass time, and if you're lucky, you'll make some coin. I may be short on riches for now, but I always keep my word. Debts and credits, they're all up here. He taps his temple with a knowing smile. And I'll pay up. Or collect before you can say jackrabbit.
Jackrabbit.
If you're so wise up, why don't you take the bet as well? I could use your coin.
I don't have any coin.
Do you want to earn some?
I have no use for coin.
You'd
I
be
have
the
it as
first.
spell.
I get it. I might rub some folks the wrong way with my constant wagers. But hey.
Oh no, there's no wrong rubbing at all.
Haha, that's what she said. But hey, I'm just trying to make things interesting, right? Come on.
Eric waves his hand away, sort of like as if he was brushing off the comment. Says, "I've really never stolen anything in my life. I'm not gonna make such a dangerous way. I'm not gonna make a wager on something I've never done before."
Change is the fruit of life, and let me tell you, stealing, it's great. Like, they say crime doesn't pay, they don't know what they're talking about. It literally pays.
He sort of laughs and says, "I can imagine."
I say word to that.
I've never needed to before. No, I guess maybe it's worth a try this time.
That's the spirit. You get out there, you pocket something, get it back in here, show it to me. You've earned yourself 10 gold. Jimjar always pays his debts. Yes, sir.
Why don't you try to steal the thing, though? I'm sure your nimble fingers are more experienced than mine are.
What's in it for me? What's the wager then? I get something anyways.
Well, we're trying to get out. You get something that can help us. We get to see the surface.
You're trying to Jimjar the Jimjar. That's not how that works.
Oh, why not? You've Jimjarred me so many times, I'm learning.
You have to give me that.
So dirty.
He just smirks. You. Alright, you're gonna chicken out a wager. I mean, I guess, I will, get you on the next one. He seems really disappointed that you're not playing his game, but, it is what it is.
He's been trying to take my coin for days, I'm used to it. Dancing around.
I'm sure you've been enjoying these
chambers
chambers and the boring circumstances you find yourself in.
But come, why don't you sit by the fire? It's cold here.
Alright, let's bring the game over by the fire. I bet you 1 gold in 10 minutes they're gonna call us for guard duty again.
Do they always, out of character, do they always call us for guard duty around this time?
Like clockwork. Well, not like clockwork. They seem to be really lazy today, taking their sweet time with it. But it's coming. Alright. Well, if you're not going to engage me in a wager, I'm going to move on to the Dark Elf in the northern corner of this chamber here. Sarth. Right. Kilgok, rather, as you approach this drow, it appears that the drow have locked up one of their own guards. This sullen elf keeps to himself, seemingly resigned to his fate in self-imposed isolation. A rumor has gone around that this guard, whose name you learned to be Sarth, was accused of murdering one of his fellow drow warriors. Sarth has treated you all with equal indifference, rebuffing attempts to talk to him.
I see. Well, I guess I'll go up and ask him if he likes to kill people.
As you cautiously approach Sarth and just casually ask him, hey, have you killed someone? His gaze remains fixed on some unseen point in the distance. His expression a mask of utter detachment. Go ahead and make me a charisma and persuasion check to persuade Sarth to speak to you.
He looks a little sickly. Persuasion. That is 20.
As you approach him, you can sense the weight of his burden, the burden of disgrace and imprisonment, bearing down upon him like a suffocating cloud, this shroud about him. With gentle words and reassuring demeanor, you manage to, break through his defenses, asking him, like, is it true you killed someone? Are you looking to kill somebody again or whatever? That seems to sort of coax him out of it. Coax him to open up about his plight. A heavy sigh as he opens his mouth to speak, his voice laced with bitterness and resignation. What was your exact question, just so I know what I'm answering to?
I asked him if it's true that he killed somebody.
He
One of his own kin.
recounts the accusation leveled against him, the whispers of murder staining his honor and tarnishing his name. Yet, despite the weight of these accusations, he professes no memory of the crime for which he stands accused.
Interesting.
You note that it's the same experiences you had before, where he speaks, the movement of his mouth forms words in a language that you don't know, but are being translated in your head for you to understand.
Question. Why can I understand you?
His words waver between conviction and doubt, and then back into focus. And he nods toward the mushroom-like creature by Shushar. Spores.
And
The spores speak. In my mind. In yours. Connecting us as one.
Is this normal down here?
What is normal? Anymore?
I mean, apparently capturing people, but enslaving them.
That is normal, yes.
Yes.
Races of the Underdark practice slavery one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Station and power.
So, what about the little mushroom? Is it like a pet?
A curious find. One of the myconid kind. The mushroomkin. I have brought it back. And now I live the consequence. It has not been the same ever since. I don't know what's real anymore. He seems, his mind, like, torn between the belief that he is the victim of a sinister plot and the fear that perhaps deep down there is truth to the accusations against him, but he's just not sure of where he is, what he is. He seems to be lost.
Can I take a closer look at you?
I mean, he's wary, but he doesn't stave off. He doesn't know what you're trying to do, so he doesn't stop you.
It just, you have these blemishes on your face.
These conditions are far from perfect. We are bound to get sick.
I mean, is it a sickness? Is it from this cave?
One form or different another. Half of you will die on the road to Mans of Barons, and half of you will make it. The Underdark will claim you, just as it seems to claim me.
Would you like to claim something for yourself that hasn't been dictated to you by societal norms?
You speak in riddles.
It is not a riddle, but the truth. Would you make your own path? Or would you sit there if an opportunity came in front of you?
There's nothing we can do. Fate has been already cast. We are dead men walking, all of us. He's in a deep, deep sense of despair at this point. There's very little flicker to hope with Sarth. any glimmer of defiance in the face of the other prisoners has been beaten out of him. Given his circumstances, he is just ready to surrender to fate.
Well, regardless of what you're ready for, why don't you join us around the fire?
I will stay here. He takes the lice-ridden blanket, puts it over his shoulder, and just sort of becomes the rogue in the corner of the tavern. Like, don't speak to me. Turns
He
over.
really is a lost cause. Poor guy.
The little mushroom thing, like a cat on 4 feet, huddles beside Sarth and cuddles by his blanket, curls up, and sadly just kind of beside him, like just leans against his body.
He's just looking.
I guess I'll go back to the fire.
Okay. If you mean to escape, you hear a voice call. He doesn't turn over, but he does speak to you just before you leave. One moment, I have just information that only he knows, and you rolled 20 persuasion, so he will share it with you. He doesn't seem to believe that he's able to escape, but he will share some information with you. You should be wary that the Underdark does not claim you. The pool is death. There's a grey ooze that lives within it. I thought it harmless, feeding off the waste, unless disturbed, but I wouldn't have you risk it. For nothing, that would be a folly death. And if you mean to run, you should do so soon. A supply patrol for Menzoberranzan and Zan is a few days overdue. This is quite unusual, but perhaps in your favor. And then goes back to facing the wall.
Thank you. I will relay the information to the party.
Okay.
A supply patrol, huh? Any ideas what they're bringing?
Supplies.
To the
Something
outpost.
under the mushrooms? Something under the mushrooms, I hope.
Whatever maintains this
probably
outpost, right? It's in the middle of nowhere.
It's probably mushrooms.
Weapons, food, slaves, escort to Menzoberranzan.
Out of
Sounds like we should keep our eyes out for when the time comes.
Out of curiosity, is anybody good at improvising things here?
Brooke
Such
kind of
as?
perks her ears and looks up. What kind of improvising are we talking about?
A loincloth string, a skull, and a themer or two.
What?
Well, she looks over her shoulder. There's plenty of bones back there. I'm sure we can scavenge a few. I don't know about you gentlemen, but I'd like to keep the few bits of cloth that I have on my body. Anybody willing to?
Hunter is just a riddle master over here. A skull, a loincloth, a femur. What color is?
Anybody willing to give up a few pieces of cloth to?
Oh, here you go.
My
There's the whole thing. I don't need it.
my what was in character. Eric hears it. He's like, what? Just what?
I mean, for one, says Jimjar, I'm for getting more clothes, not less.
Jimjar, you're barely hiding anything under that.
True.
You barely know me.
And that is fine.
Don't make fun of the goods.
What goods?
Shut.
I'm good at Jimjar.
So mean, Jimjar.
Jimjar has third leg.
Brooke absolutely not fazed by the small graveyard behind her, walks over and grabs all of the pieces that Buck was talking about, and comes back and be like, "Here you go. I leave the cloth bit to you guys."
Sure. I rip off my loincloth cloths.
You've ruined it, says the Daru amongst you. I've assembled him. He was laying there so beautifully, at peace. You had to disturb him. Bah.
Did the fishman get to you?
What?
What? I think
Find peace
he's
down here before your inevitable ends.
I think he's talking to himself, Eric.
She looks over beside her to Bupido and is like, "It's okay. It's part of his plan."
It certainly isn't. He seems actually furious at it. When you approach the bones over there, like, yeah, it's a half corpse, but you saw the other half was like a range and like this intricate pattern, like almost like not a pentagram, but like a pattern, like a mandala almost of bones, a piece of art of some sort. It's like,
and who made this? Badupu?
Bupido, yeah.
Oh, Bupido.
Yeah.
Maybe he should lay claim to his art next time.
I do apologize, Bupido, but I have not been here long, and I plan to keep it that way.
You will learn. And that's all he says. Slowly nodding. A hush falls about the room as heavy footsteps can be heard approaching the iron gate of the slave pen. The lock... Yep.
Quick, tie them together. Continue, please.
What are you trying to do?
Oh. Like make an improvised mace.
Out of?
A skull, a femur, and loincloth.
You're stripping naked.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
Dear God.
Eldif covers her eyes. Eldif is like, come on!
Warn us next time, please.
I've been naked for several minutes at this point.
As
Are all commoners like this?
An improvised frog, okay? That's my weapon.
As the lock clicks and iron hinges creak and the gate opens, you see Yorlan of House Duskrin, one of the Warden's taskmasters, fixes his gold gaze upon the lot of you, especially you, my naked fellow. He has a scourge whip at his side that he seems to be white-knuckling as he looks upon your naked form. You see his one blind eye, a cloudy white, where a nasty burn dominates over half his face. Silvery hair falls past his shoulders and contrasts against the deep mauve shade of his contorted facial features. Let me see if I can show you guys what this guy looks like. Sure, yeah, that works.
You know, oh no, he's still kind of handsome.
She was, before you singed him.
The swoop of the hair.
Let me put him on the map layer so you guys can see him. There we go. You. Yes, you. He points toward Hunter's naked character. Come here.
I stand up and go there, I guess.
Okay, where do you hide your mace?
I just leave it on the ground by the orc.
Right. Fair enough.
We're sitting on like big rocks, right?
Yep.
You could like put it in front of the rock.
Go ahead and rule me a sleight of hand check. A sleight of hand check. This is a check to see how well you can like stash away this newly crafted club of yours from his
gonna go so well.
Passive perception.
At 11.
An 11?
Yeah.
You see
negative threes really hit me hard.
As you approach him, you can see his eyes are set on the spot where you've just stashed away your club, and he has a smirk to him. He says, "Come here!" And he just whips his scourge in the air, making a loud crack.
Yes. Wait, can I understand him?
Yes.
Okay.
You see, this guardsman is flanked to either side by creatures not too dissimilar from Prince Derendil, but they're more beastly and disheveled. These looming quaggoths, dim-witted, cannibalistic beast men that serve as slave servants of your Drow captors. Ferocious and obedient, they stare hungrily, teeth grinding as they consider you salivating. The Dark Elf Guard has a crossbow slung over his shoulder and a quiver full of bolts at his side. You can see the bolt's arrow tip glistens with the familiar purple sheen of drow poison. He puts the whip, coils it, securing it to his hip. But he doesn't reach for either weapon. Instead, he turns and retrieves several bowls of more food from a cart carried by one of these beastmen. And as he approaches the gate to the slave pen, you see the cart has a pot full of thin, more soup, strange blue bread to accompany it, more rations. You don't get more rations usually. Usually you are on the verge of starvation, feeding on barely flavorful water, but this is bread.
Why is it blue?
Beats you. As he begins passing bowls of this soup and bread between the cell bars to you, he mutters to you, "If I could give you means to escape from here, would you take it?"
At the verge of getting whipped, of course I would.
That does not serve my interests at this time. So you give him an affirmative?
Yes.
You see Yorlan, like furtively glances around as he speaks. Let's just say, an embarrassing incident on Ilvara's hands will be in my favor. Suppose I forget to lock this gate and leave the slave pen unlocked, and suppose I create a distraction during the changing of the guards on duty. That would provide a window of opportunity for prisoners to escape. It would be truly embarrassing for Commander Ilvara to have a prisoner break on her hands. And of course, it could be far worse if said prisoners found their way to the armory. He casually nods toward the chamber above the guard post in the hanging tower that's across from the slave pens.
Over here?
Across from the bridge.
Neat.
All it would take for Ilvara to lose her precious cargo is for said slaves to then jump down into the webs below, then over the edge into the pool and make their escape from here.
Very good. I nod in understanding. Is there anything else you need?
Nope. I don't. It's not his need. He's offering you his help. I don't understand the question. That's why I'm sorry. I was confused by the question.
That is my apologies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to get out of here?
Greece.
Yeah, sure. Anything else you need? What?
All right, everyone, come get your bread and soup. Get over here. Don't keep the Lord waiting.
Eric was trying to slowly and quietly approach.
Eric, get your bread.
The gate from the side. How much of that conversation would he have been able to overhear?
All of it.
Ooh, okay. Eric makes his way forward to get his bread. Let's get this bread. What?
Yeah, bread and soup for you, Eric, and bread and soup for you, Flint. I think that's you down there. Yeah, bread and soup for you, Brooke, and Darth.
Eric asks
Darth,
the Drow, why is the bread blue?
It's blue bread. He says it as if it's the most obvious thing in the world.
Yes. He just says,
Surface
Grabs it.
dwellers.
Takes
Just
the bowl
rolls his eyes like
as
surface
well,
dwellers and
and
like doesn't even bother explaining.
makes his way back
Yeah.
between Derendil.
Manuel, it's like the same sort of demeanor as if you would have asked me like, why is the bread brown? Like it's the same sort of attitude. It's blue bread. What do you mean? Yeah.
That's that steam engine
it's
used
like
for power.
obvious for him.
Yeah.
Steam.
But yeah.
Let's do a. Are we saying that everybody heard or no?
You want me to? He doesn't seem to be intent on repeating it.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
I'll take the rest of the rations and bring them back over to the fire and relay the information of
With
the
that,
upcoming prison break.
Yorlan would then finish handing you the rest of the soup bowls, and leaves.
Did you ask how many guards were in the armory?
Be frank. No. But it is straight ahead of us.
It would have been useful to know whether we should go in stealthily or we have to worry about, I don't know, smashing in some skulls,
Well,
slitting some throats.
you did say it would be the best place to arm ourselves. So, I'd rather be armed and dangerous than unarmed and dangerous.
Well, I guess we'll
Add a
have to-
character real quick. Where's Hunter's character? Is he in darkness and that's why I can't see him? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Un momento.
Okay.
I come back into the light.
If your allies are hiding in darkness, what else? What other horrors might lie in the dark? Perhaps you should do something about that.
There's some glowing fungus over there that you might be able to use.
Yeah, get the glowy
much-
fungus. You can
How
also
much
eat
mushroom
some.
is in this soup? Is it still just like mushroom
I don't know,
flavored water, or is there like actual chunks in there?
This one
It's
looks
a
like
s-
real food.
It's the same soup, but the bread surely helps
Okay.
to give you some substance.
I'm gonna use the fire to like toast the bread, and maybe like dip the edges into the soup at a time and eat while I'm eating.
The bread begins to ooze,
Oh,
melting like wax.
Is bread
I don't know if I
supposed to
wanna
do
eat this.
that?
no.
But anyways, I eat the bread and the soup.
You know what's wrong? Goncho never had blue bread?
I don't know. Actually, I've never had blue bread. How's it taste?
Like blue caps.
Who said that?
Oh,
Jimjar. Jimjar appears to be like a gnome that's...
I will.
Yeah.
Burke
If-
drinks up her soup, but she breaks up the bread into smaller pieces and stuffs them in the back of her hair.
As Brooke feeds her mouse. What was that, Eric?
Go from her mouse. There's her safekeeping for later.
Oh, well, gross. All right. That's not... Okay.
How much is the?
Yeah. How
I'll
much? How much is one?
I'll take I'll bite a corner of the bread off. How good is it?
It tastes like umami flavor, like it's made from mushroom spores.
Oh,
It's the Underdark equivalent of bread. Apparently made from
Okay.
a mushroom called blue cap.
I'll eat half of it, and then seeing how it started to melt when I tried to toast it, I'm gonna put the other half into my soup and use the fire to heat up the soup, make my soup thicker with the other half of the bread.
You feel you might just have enough energy to escape? You have only a mere few minutes to feed on the thin soup rations provided before. Your land is joined by other prison guards, equally well adorned in dark leather and wielding these wickedly sharp moon crescent-shaped halberd blades. One amid these drow is a young, handsome male with an arrogant, gloating look to him. His uniform marks him to be of high station. You've come to learn this one to be called Shun Vandry, the warden's current male consort and lieutenant. He speaks. Enjoying the mundane tasks given to you, Duskrin. You ought to be grateful. Given your recent demotion, you're lucky to be joining the prisoners in chamber pot duty. Ever grateful, Lord Vandry, says Jorlin, in reply bowing and visibly holding in contempt. Right then. On your feet, scum. Back to work. You hear the gate creak once more.
Oh, I'll go help pick up Kezkirat.
Huh?
Sarth?
Sarth, yeah. It's a carrot, yeah. Alrighty then. I say we take a short break. I'm gonna go to the washroom real quick, get some water and stuff, and we'll be back in like 3 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
If you're looking for a way to escape, would you take it? Yes, sir!
You gonna whip me? Actually, I don't give a shit if you whip me. Of course I would.
But do you need something else?
Oh my god, they released the stats of the characters from the Fallout show.
Some Underdark vibes. There we are. Questions so far? How are you finding it?
Good so far.
It's interesting to see how many seemingly, I guess we've only seen like 3 of them so far, but it seems like all the Drow we're interacting with have been men.
Ilvara is the matriarchal priestess. She has an assistant, junior priestess called Asha. Those are the 2 predominant female figures in this prison. For the most part in Drow society, from what you've been absorbing, yes, it seems that like ants, the males seem to be working as either consorts or drones, as in soldiers.
I see.
This is too low in the pyramid for them, for women.
You have to speak slower, more clearly. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, but this is too low in the pyramid for a woman, or for a Drow woman.
I guess. Then there's that one dude who's both a consort and like a captain.
The scarred individual used to be the consort, but because of recent events or because he fell out of favor, or because he's just ugly, he got demoted and replaced by Shure, the guy who sounds like Squidward. Yeah, he got ugly. He got a case of the ugly.
Oh shit!
Well, he's half his face is scarred. You know.
Yeah, thanks to darts.
You know, if we run into him again, we can make the other half ugly too.
That's the guy who's trying to help you escape. You can do whatever you want to in this business.
Chill.
Thanks.
I mean, I didn't ask him, but he's only helping us to escape to further advance his station and get any revenge.
No, he's just looking to embarrass.
Like,
he's just looking to embarrass Navarro. Nothing to do with his station.
sounds like noble in politics to me. Someone in status. He wants to ruin the reputation of another person in status that he doesn't like. Reminds me all too much of home.
But at the end of the day, I don't think he cares what happens to us. And that's no friend of mine. But
well, yeah, that's how noble politics works. You use
Maybe.
those ranked lower than you to do the dirty work.
an acquaintance.
Merely using your status and power to provide the opportunity.
You know where I'm from. Your rulers would just get stepped on if they spoke out of turn.
You guys don't have nobles where you live?
Oh no, we do. It's just if you're smaller than them, I have much stopping them from stepping on you.
Isn't everybody smaller than your kind? I guess
Exactly.
except for the gnome.
Oh no, I'm talking about giants.
You lived amongst giants.
Yes, I was raised by a storm giant.
Why didn't you get stepped on?
Good
They
question.
kind of like built a little carrier for me to chill in. Other chest.
It had like a little.
He was like the
carrier
baby
for you.
Yoda
Yeah.
of their kind.
Yeah. Then at about the age of 5, they let me out. And oh boy, that was rough. See, there are other children, but they're about as big as you by default. So you can imagine a baby that is like curious about things, and he kind of looks at you, not a baby but smaller than it, and like, oh, what's that? It's kind of terrifying.
I can
Imagine this small creature,
be-
unthinking, but there's something behind the eyes, and you can't tell if it wants to kill you, or if it will accidentally kill you.
You must be extremely dexterous and nimble to have been dodging those footsteps. Traveling
No.
those-
No, actually, quite the opposite.
Oh. You got stepped on a
I
lot.
mostly just kind of stayed near the furniture, pillars, the
Gotcha.
kinds of things you'd walk around.
Makes sense. The survival strats.
Then I got a little
Uplifting those
taller,
giants.
and my
A little.
basically second mother was like, "Oh, you're not done growing," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, normally dwarves don't go to any bigger than that, but here I am, 6 foot."
Wait, you're
Kinda
a 6-foot dwarf?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're a dwarf. Okay.
Yes, I am a dwarf
That really
by
caught me off
birth.
guard.
If what my master/mother told me rings true, there's something about the magics, maybe even the food. It's just the environment in itself of being raised from giants from birth and participating in the rituals, maybe even the act of my tattoos themselves, garnered me with superior stature of unparalleled potence.
Dies to
I
goblins.
imagine if you're a 6-foot I imagine if you're a 6-foot dwarf, most people don't even realize don't even recognize you're a dwarf when they first meet you. Probably think you're just like a big dude with a burly beard.
I mean, my face is dwarvish, and my pecs are uniquely dwarvish. I'm quite broad for
The
6 foot.
dwarvish pecs. The dwarvish pecs.
Yes.
My pecs of beers.
Carved out of the mountain. I should have went into more detail about my beard. I never thought about that.
I
It's a very big
braid
thing
my
about a dwarf.
pecs.
My beard's actually so long. I've actually, you know what? My beard's so long it hangs down. It covers my crotch.
Oh.
Nah, I'll think about the beard later. I'll add that in.
Otherwise, you would sure be got to point out the provincial government don't do that either.
Yeah, but yeah. No,
Are we waiting on anybody else except for Megan?
I do not know.
Okay. I'll just wait for Will to unmute himself. Yeah.
Well, the problem with this conflict is that the majority need that's available to make things happen is at the provincial level.
Yeah, but like, so for instance,
Municipal government is very limited to play around with. Literally.
So while we wait, and we have time, I'm going to explain what's going to happen next. Each day you were here, you were forced to do some hard labor. You will be divided into 3 groups and taken from the cell to do hard labor. Each of the first 2 groups will be composed of 3 player characters and 1 NPC of your choice, which I'm going to say it's your choice because, well, A, it's fun, or B, we can roleplay it as you know, like in prison, form little social groups of your favorite people. People you want to stick around for various benefits. So group 1 will be Duma, as well as Kilgok and Darts, and 1 NPC of your choice. Group 2 will be Eric, Flint, and Brooke, and 1 NPC of your choice.
Gonna take Darren with me. Derendil.
I agree.
I would like to cast my vote for the female dwarf.
Or, to be honest, Jimjar. I think Jimjar will be more useful.
Oh no, I think the boba tea I had was a bit too much for me.
We just had a break. Go.
Oh,
Will
no, I
gets
meant
back.
I'm full. I'm full.
Oh.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
So I'll repeat, you are to be divided into groups, as posted in chat, to do hard labor in the prison.
Duma, Kilgok, Darts. Okay, so I'm part of that group. Okay.
Greg, talk for a second.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm gonna turn your volume up. I haven't heard your voice in forever, so I'm not sure if it's because I didn't hear you or you were just being quiet.
I said a few things. I'm nothing crazy.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn you up. Do you have a vote preference for which NPCs you prefer to go with your group?
I'm with Kilgok on the Dwarven woman.
Okay.
Fuck yeah!
So is Duma.
So the other group is split between Prince Derendil and Jimjar. Which one would you like to take with you?
Meg, who do you rather have?
Oh, I vote for Prince.
Well, Prince.
Fair enough.
Democracy.
Yeah, it sucks.
Jimjar will join the others in a third group. They are led away from you. Group 1. Half of you... Are we all back, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Half of you are escorted to a waterfall at the outskirts of the outpost, where you're made to empty chamber pots, fill and haul water barrels, and as well as do laundry and such. Group 2, the other half, are escorted into the main hall, where you are to prepare and serve food to the outpost's guards, the guard force, as well as clean through a mound of dishes. So, Group 1 on the map will be here.
Something to pick pots.
Group 2 with Derendil on the map is escorted here. For now, we're going to ignore the map until it's relevant, so just close your eyes and follow me on this theater of the mind a little bit. You are escorted out of the cell, and as you exit the cell, you take in your surroundings. The Drow outpost is located in a high cavern, located in this cavern, built 100 feet above the rocky floor. You know what? To help you with this visual, I'll give you this. There we are. So the slave pens would be the little gated arch entrance to the very left there. That's where you exit from. This whole outpost is about 100 feet above, near the ceiling, above the floor below of this cavern. It consists of a series of these small caves in the cavern walls and 4 hanging towers, hollowed out stalactites connected by walkways, stairs, and rope bridges. Stretched below these towers, thick webs sprawl along the length of the cavern, suspended between its walls and stalactites. Right. In terms of just general features, while the interior spaces of the outpost are dimly illuminated by lanterns containing phosphorescent fungi, the exterior is complete darkness. The sound of a small waterfall pouring into the cavern creates a constant background noise, negating the cave's tendency to amplify and carry sound. But, your hearing is not impeded in the cavern. You can hear just as well. There are these 5-foot wide stairs that are carved into the stone to sort of guide you along the side of this cavern. The bridges are made from this spider silk rope, connecting the walkways to the guard towers and the entrance to the priest's tower. These swaying bridges are considered difficult terrain for you non-drows. Falling is ill-advised. There's webs below you. Since we are a little bit split up, I'm going to go ahead and start with a group that's by the waterfall first. There are guards nearby. I'm just not going to bother with their tokens for now. What you guys see? This will be Duma, Darts, and Kilgok. Now, I'm going to place the other people, their tokens nearby, just so you guys have vision. But you're not there for now. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Cool. So what you guys see, Duma, Darts, and Kilgok, as well as Eldeth, is water. Water vents through a crack in the ceiling near the eastern wall between the stalactites of the priestess tower and the guard tower, creating a small waterfall that pours down to the cavern floor and forms a natural pool. You are made to assist several quaggoths in gathering small barrels of water from the head of the waterfall to serve as the outpost's water for their needs, whatever there may be. You note the stone wall of the waterfall. Water likely made the stone wall difficult to scale, and failing to do so would have one fall and land into the pool below. The water must be at least 20 feet deep, and eventually it flows out into an underground river that must traverse for miles throughout the Underdark, if that makes sense.
Our Drow friend in prison, he said there's a slime in the pool?
So he claimed, yes.
Interesting. Thank you.
I don't know how far you can see in this dark cavern, but
I can see it about here.
the waterfall
I
rushes
can see a
from
door
above here. Yeah, those are just the stalactite towers above you. You guys have found yourself on the floor of the cavern, have been taking a lift down, if that makes sense.
So he wants to help us break out. And what did he say? Where should we go?
Oh, yeah. Basically,
Down onto the webs.
he's gonna
Into the pool
leave
or
the door
something.
open. We're gonna arm ourselves. And then we're gonna jump into the webs. And make our way down to the pool. And escape through there. But our drow friend said that the pool is not just a pool. That there is a slime in it. A rather dangerous one.
Is there anything? Does he tell us what kind of slime it might be?
Do not recall.
So the waterfall's right here. We're getting in it.
For the sake
Yes, while we're-
of spatial awareness, right? You have the bridges above you guys, the webbing above you guys. The waterfall is here,
Oh, the waterfall's right there. Oh, okay.
but you're on the shores because you have just arrived here with your buckets.
Okay, yeah. Do we know which way the river runs? Like, do we see like which way the river is flowing towards a continuous path where it's going that way? It's going up this way. Okay. I'm going to see if we can move down to the side a little bit, see if there's any chance to actually see an ooze in here or something like that. Maybe I don't know if the Quillgoths will do anything, but Doom's going to move down a little bit, just exploring slightly, and see if he can actually see anything, see news.
Oi, meatbag, get back here. One of the cogwolves begins to sort of tail you as you check out the pools. If you want to roll me a perception check as you scan the waters, though, you'll feel free.
Gladly. Perception.
Do not forget, you're not free to roam wherever you want. You are still made to work.
That's 11.
With an 11, you look into the waters, and they appear fine, empty. A few quippers in there, here and there, a few fish, but nothing out of the ordinary in that regard.
Doom's going to look up at the Quillgoth and be like, should we catch those for the masters?
You are made to carry water. Water you will carry. 2 bucketfuls.
Okay. Duma will come back because the Quillgoth's watching, but the whole time he's just keeping like a perception out on anything that might catch his eye. Anything that moves, he's going to try to block and remember.
Sure. What is Darts doing this whole while?
We're just gathering water currently, right?
I'm asking you what you're doing.
I'm gathering the water, but I'm gonna go, seeing that Doma went north, I'll go, like, right about here, and, like, look around, too.
Looking around is another perception check, yeah?
Covered both sides. Perception's not that great, 16.
Neat. Without much of a light source, you are perceiving with disadvantage. That'll be a 4.
Oh, damn.
Dark waters disappearing into the depths. You can see the bottom about 20 feet ahead of you, going on an even slope, and disappearing into darkness as it flows in the direction of yonder. If you're looking for anything ooze-like, you don't seem to be spotting it. Fill a bucket. It's heavy, but you can carry it. I'm going to give a chance for Hunter to speak as well for his character what he wishes to do.
I'm going to be getting water, but I'm going to ask the lass here if do you want to help me look for anything of use down here.
Of
All I
use?
see is water and webs.
I say we keep our head low until an opportunity arrives. That gambit, the bargain we struck with you-know-who, might be our chance to get out of here, but we should keep an eye out for anything we can use. I doubt we'll find anything in the waters, but feel free to look.
Maybe I trip and fall in.
Okay.
Okay. Can you help me trip?
She holds out a leg.
Perfect. Oh!
Trip.
Oh, what's that in the water? Ah!
There's a splash as your nude, skinny-dipping ass lands in the water.
Very nice.
It is cold. A cold embrace, but not unpleasant as you sink to the bottom.
My fleas.
Our fleas are getting washed away.
No!
And then you
Actually,
hit the squishy bottom, and you hear
the squishy bottom?
squishy bottom, and you hear a burbling voice.
Oh no.
Flash for the faceless lord. Roll for initiative.
Shit. Initiative.
Is that the
3.
ooze?
Just for you, man.
You found the ooze already?
Oh boy. Mine
yeah.
is 3 initiative. Fuck.
What's your dex?
-3.
Oh shit.
Wait, what's your score? Is it like a
I rolled a 4, okay? I rolled a 4.
Don't feel bad, Hunter. I rolled a 5 for my strength.
Oh.
I'd rather have a 4 in dex than a 5 in strength.
Master plan. I don't know what it was, but it worked. You fell into the pool. Okay.
Better have a backup character.
You get swallowed by the ooze and immediately dies.
Do the rest of you guys also want to roll initiative, or no?
Sure.
You don't have to. You can just watch them.
We're not there.
Wow. My
I mean,
rolls
guys,
suck.
You don't have weapons, or items, so
But
I
I
don't want to
do
be.
have cantrips.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll see if they work.
You
We will
have
see if they
material
work.
components?
Only one of them needs it.
Okay.
If Greg doesn't roll initiative, I'm going to assume his character just doesn't want to participate in combat, and I will go. Huh?
I just did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Nat
Cool.
I got a nat 20.
You are on top
I
of
am
initiative.
already in the water.
Darts.
Alright. I have nothing to do spell-wise.
You can always unarmed strike or jump.
That might be a smart move.
Is there a rock near me?
Yeah.
Can I pick up 3 like pebbles or something? And I don't have a spellcasting focus though, so I can't. It's a V and an S, so I would need like
Verbal
a
somatic?
tool.
Mhm.
Yeah, verbal somatic. So I wouldn't be able to cast that. I can. No, I can't cast that. Don't have anything against that. So I just, what's the damage for just like throwing a stone? Like a.
It'll be an
pebble?
improvised weapon.
No.
So improvised weapon rules. Probably like a 1d4 or 1d6. I'm looking it up, but roll the hit.
But would it be with dex or strength?
Usually strength.
It's dexterity if it's a ranged weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Okay, so the D20. Is it not rolling? What the hell?
It's not rolling plus your dex.
Oh, okay. It showed up then. So it would be 15 to hit.
15 to hit the Grey Ooze. Hits. It is a gelatinous mass with little to no armor. Quite large and hard to miss as it begins to envelop Kilgok. Kilgok Nootcock.
And that just deals 1d4.
I believe so.
3.
Nice.
Don't you deal add your dex to it or no?
Deals 1 damage. The DM assigns a damage type or repeated object, which would be bludgeoning. So 1d4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Nice. So you send a... If you want to describe your attacks as combat, feel free. It's part of the game. Otherwise, you send it.
Send it.
All right. It splashes into the water and damages the Grey Ooze. Eldith, without her hammer and her shield, looks... I don't know why I even rolled her initiative. She's not initiative. She doesn't have a weapon. She will be useless in combat. So let's go straight to Duma.
Duma will, just to measure, will run over 20 feet, looking at the ground for sharp stones. We'll scoop him up, and we'll reach back, close one of his eyes, and just whip it as he gets the stone to cut through the water to hit the ooze. And I will roll a d20, and it's +4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hit. It's 8.
Well,
Where the fuck are you throwing those?
Well, how about this? If you let me do the DMing, I'll tell you if it hits or not. And 8 hits.
Sure. Oh, and 8 hits.
Yes.
Cool. It will it'll cut right through the water and go right past Kilgok and smack the ooze right in the eyeball if it had them.
Doesn't have one. It is a gray oozing mass. Doesn't have any sensory organs, but nonetheless, 3 damage.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Flesh for the faceless god.
Yeah, it's up the cliff. I'm not flesh. I'm not flesh at all. Promise.
Fair enough. Let me see here. Hunter, does your character have any non-magical weapons made of metal that hit? No, you don't.
No, I have nothing on me.
You don't have any metal objects, right? Your your little club is made from bone, which is Pog. 10 to hit you with a pseudopod.
Oh, he hits me with the pseudopod.
What's your AC? I'm just curious. Was I nice to you?
7, because I have no dex.
I'm so happy.
You take
your boy literally needs some adamantium armor here, guys. Like,
you get bludgeoned for 4 damage as the acidic E-core seeps onto your flesh and singes you for an additional 7.
An additional 7.
Yep. For an 11 damage.
Okay.
Yep.
Hi. Hello.
Are you down?
Almost.
How much health do you have, out of curiosity?
12.
Oh, you have the same amount as me. Jesus.
Kilgok, you get a chance at a rebuttal.
Okay. Rebuttal. Bonus action. Form of the dead.
Form
or
of
we'll
dread?
try for that. Yeah, dread.
Okay. You want to describe it?
Yes. So, Kilgok utters some primordial words, which I guess you might understand because of the fungus. Maybe. And basically, he says, "And may the visage of the undying Lord make you weep and shudder." And his appearance becomes very goth. Not more goth than he already looks, because he's very badly injured, but he's malnourished, rotten almost. And a crown forms above his head with green and purple runes going down his head and his neck and through his arms. Rather spooky.
Okay, that's your bonus action. What would you like to do?
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna jump. How high is this cliff?
It's a rough terrain climb of 5 feet.
Okay. Can I jump?
Not in the water. I don't know if you've ever tried jumping in waters. Very hard.
Okay. All right. I'll try and climb.
Okay. 10 feet of your movement will get you underwater.
Okay. Iggy. Out of the water.
You do have your form of dread, pseudopod. You do have your form of dread, temporary hit points, but the pseudopod comes clashing as a reaction as you escape its reach for 8 to hit.
Fuck, he hits. He hits.
Okay, do you survive 3 plus 7?
One moment. 1d10 plus my warlock level.
Nice, so you have your
That's
11 temporary hit
11
points.
plus 1, so 12.
Just
You
saving
have
you.
4 health, 3 health left.
Dice. 12. And how much did he hit me for? 10?
He hit you for a total of 10, yeah?
Perfect. Beautiful.
It.
I made it.
Alright.
You're the one who talked to all the people and who told you not to jump in.
Bonus action, movement, anything else in your turn?
No, that is everything I can do. I will use the rest of my movement to get as far away from the edge of this cliff as possible.
Cool, sounds good.
Does the ooze follow? Oh, it's not his turn. Oh, it's...
We have top of the round.
Is that right about here? Or is it measuring total?
There's a measurement tool. If you were by the ooze,
That's 10, that's...
you would be able to reach anywhere within the range of 25 feet with your... actually, you have 25 feet of movement, don't you, dwarf?
Yes, I can make
So you're good there.
one spot back.
Sure. Alright. Pythagorean cries as I try and find... Where's turn order? Darts. Top of the or initiative order. Do you flee? Do you fight?
So is that slime still chasing after him, or staying down there?
It's staying
You
in the
don't know
water
yet.
so far.
Water.
It's right there.
I asked the beast near me, does that thing ever venture outside of the water?
It seems hungry. I'm not messing with it. I'm out of here.
Uh-huh.
We
Alright.
are out of here. It's like I'll leave you here. Like,
I mean, you could.
I honestly recommend we mosey on and get out of here.
Oh,
I ain't fighting that without magic.
you can choose. You can flee combat. You'll be out of combat, and I'll consider you fleeing with the Quagoffs.
I skip a rock on the water before
Okay, as it begins
choosing
to...
life.
Yeah, no thanks. I choose life. Do you want to roll to hit?
No, I'm just skipping it on the water.
Okay, you flee. Duma.
He's gonna throw another rock and see if he can hit it again. Do as much damage to it as possible. That would be 8 again. I rolled another 4 plus 4.
For sure, hits.
Another 3 damage. I think I'm going to reset this in after, because I'm rolling the exact same numbers.
The ooze burbles as it begins to lose form. Nonetheless, determined to catch up with its prey, it begins to approach
Oh
close.
god!
Approaching the dwarf at the shore, Eldif is at risk of getting pseudopoded.
Dumo call it to darts. Hit the thing. It's already breaking apart.
She actually managed to dodge. Wow, nice. Kilgok to follow up.
Kilgok is gonna get out of here, but boy howdy, is he gonna give that slime a piece of his mind, and he's gonna cast Mind Sliver.
You drive a disorienting spike of psychic energy in the mind of one creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw. Yeah, Ooze, known for his intelligence. Do you guys see my rules, by the way?
No.
No? That's okay. That's as it should be. It rolled a crisp 6 intelligence on a save, so it takes 1d6 psychic damage and gets a bane penalty on a saving throw. Go ahead and roll that 2d6 damage, Hunter.
4.
As it burbles out in anger, damaged in mind and form. We have darts fleeing. Duma, you get to follow up.
Oh no, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
It's gonna be forced to make a wisdom saving throw, and if it fails, it becomes frightened until the end of my next turn.
Fair enough. It makes a wisdom saving throw of 16.
Minus 1d4?
Minus 1d4.
Did you roll it?
Oh, I will roll the minus 1d4.
Okay.
1.
15.
1. Okay. Actually, I don't think it says what the spell save DC is for that.
It's whatever your spell save is.
13.
Cool.
So it succeeds.
Succeeds.
Okay, I'm gonna use my movement to get the fuck out of here.
In that case, yep.
Duma is going to lean down and pick up another sharp stone as possible. And he's going to close his eyes, open split second, and then try throwing it to hit it off the ground and into the ooze to get more momentum on it and do more damage. I don't know if I can do sharpshooter with the stone. Can I?
What does sharpshooter say? Does it require a bow and arrow, crossbow, or ranged weapon?
I just reset my... I gotta bring out my sheet again.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Sharpshooter. You make a ranged weapon. Oh, master ranged weapon. No,
Improvised weapon is a weapon attack.
Oh, okay. So I'll use sharpshooter and see if I can hit it. So that should be that. So it's gonna be -5 to it.
Tom, how's your level 1 fetcher go? Oh, good. They threw rocks at my jelly.
Yeah.
I rolled a 12 plus 4. It's 16 -5, 11 to hit.
11 hits?
Stop reading my
It's
notes.
be 1d4 plus 10. 12 damage.
How do you want to do this?
Duma wants the whole bag, and then as he aims down, he recorrects and gives an extra flick with his forefinger. It's going to skip right off the stone, and just right in front of it. It bounces up and goes straight through the middle. And you hear a clack on the other side of the river.
As you best the foe, it slinks back into the waters, burbling, "Jublex, my lord, I return into your embrace, hungry," and disappears into the waters.
There we go.
You flee combat, successfully having retrieved water and kept your life.
Is it possible for Duma to try to hold on to a few of those rocks as he's carrying up the water?
Sure thing. Each of you gets 1d4 pebbles. That you're able to.
Roger that.
Each of you gets 4 pebbles that can be used as improvised weapons in that regard.
That's
Yay.
great.
Pebbles.
Da-da-da-da! You get
Pebbles.
Does a pebble count as a material as a somatic component?
No, somatic components is like anything to do with words, like magic words you use.
Oh, so just speaking?
Huh?
So speaking?
Yeah, that's what somatic means.
No,
No,
so-
no, sorry,
somatic
I'm mixing
is
it up with
the
vocal.
hands.
Vocal is speaking,
Yeah.
somatic is hands, yes.
Yes.
So
That's
you're talking about material components. Sorry, I'm just... It's,
Yeah, no,
it's
yeah.
9 p.m., so I'm getting woozy. You guys okay to keep going with the other group?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I'm gonna put you guys there for the sake of vision, just so you're as involved. But yeah, we have then Flint, Eric, Brooke, and Prince Derendil. You arrive at the doors to the main hall, which is over yonder, past the bridges and the stalactites. This cave serves as a gathering and eating place for the Drow warriors of the outpost. It has 4 circular tables carved from this strange-looking wood, each surrounded by 5 chairs, though you would note that trees don't grow in the Underdark, so what is a strange wood? Part of the hall is used as a food preparation and storage area, containing stocks of dried and fresh fungi, dried fruits, cheeses, preserved meats, and a few clay jars of spices. A heavy iron brazier provides heat for cooking along with dim light within the chamber, but much of the food is served cold. Unlike the slop you were made to eat for the past several weeks, the Drow enjoy a variety of mouth-watering meals here. The kitchen serves fluorescent fungus salad, cave jelly, roasted deep beetles, delicious toadstool stock, and things like that.
Sounds amazing.
4 Drow are in the main hall eating and entertaining themselves with a game of cards. Several Quaggoths are also on hand, aiding in serving and cleaning. Yep. That is the general overview of this place. What would you like to do?
We are helping prepare
What are we supposed to be
food.
doing?
Yes, you're help prepare food, made to do dishes. This is all theater of the mind stuff, but anything that comes to your mind that you want to do during this time, you're free to do.
As Brooke prepares a dish to go out, she brushes through her hair and a small brown speck comes out and falls onto the plate.
What is the small brown speck?
There's a mouse dropping.
Gross. Roll
And she
sleight of hand.
I think I'm good at that. Going with sleight of hand is at a disadvantage because shackles, yes.
No. Just
No?
normal. You are restrained, but your movement is not impeded. It will affect your dexterity, but I'll let it go. Sleight of hand. I mean, like, you're rolling 7 and 9 here. Brooke is caught, and in short, is served 1 ray of sickness as she's yelled at for her infractions.
Oh.
Ray of sickness.
Yeah, so a ray of sickness is just consequence for failure. As you are made to work now under close watch of the one of the Quaggoths, a ray of sickening greenish energy lashes out toward you. You take poison damage. And make me a Constitution saving throw. Nice. Your time out in the wilds, or life in general, has sort of prepared your Constitution for harsher, violent environments such as this. And you're tested, and you prevail. Whatever sickness takes hold of you evaporates in time. You may feign being weak, but you're not actually. Your choice. But, you are yelled for any infractions as you're under watch here. But haha, funny.
To be clear,
Mouse
I
poop.
took 10 damage, right?
Yep, you took 10 poison damage from one of the Drow.
No. Yeah, no, Brooke goes down.
Oh,
Only
okay.
has 9 health.
Yeah. Okay, so you are... Okay. Mouse poop worth it.
It's unconscious.
Yeah.
Does it matter that her AC is 18? Like,
Your armor class is
That's like-
18? I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Because in this environment, they're gonna keep lashing you until it hits. Because it's like punishment. They don't mean to kill you. They mean to punish you for serving shit to the you're not gonna get away with serving shit to the guards if you're caught. To be fair, the DC is 12. These guys were distracted by their game of dice. It was like if she doesn't sleight of hand mouse shit check against their DC 12, then it is what it is. The three of you, or at least get a chance to succeed where Brooke tried. If you wish to steal anything from the pantries or do anything in these kitchens before you head back to your cells. Roll for mouse shit. That's funny.
Roll for mouse shit. It's so fucking hilarious. So Eric has never done servant work before, but
Right.
he has basically had servants tend to his every need growing up, and so he tries to sort of like copy the example that he's always seen. He's gonna tend to their tea, clean up their plates as soon as I see, like, not only that they're done eating, but like they place their utensils down. If anything's ever spilled, like that's immediately he's coming over with like a cloth and stuff. And yeah.
So you're playing the part of a servant, leading into this whole slavery thing. On your sheet, add under the features or whatever, get inspiration. This inspiration will be useful if you ever want to make a check to stealth past the guards, because they will see you as a pathetic servant that is obedient and is not fighting back. Where they're keeping a watchful eye on all of you, you're sort of just like playing into the whole subjugation thing. So anytime you would want to like pass a slide check to subvert them, you'll get advantage. You can give this advantage to any of your party mates as well if you ever need to. If Brooke ever wants to poison the guards ever again, advantage might help.
can she like plead? Can she feign? Like, I have no idea how that got there. Like, I just ran my fingers through my hair. I don't know what that is.
Unfortunately, the rule, the failure of the rule against DC 12 just means that they saw you do it, sort of thing. It's a sort of yin-yang thing.
Fair enough.
It's just the way the Drow are. They, even if you didn't do it, they might even punish you for something you didn't do. They are not fair creatures. They're very... they're bad guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's okay. I'm playing this yin-yang sort of consequential, like success or fail, just to move it along. So that's what Eric does. That's what Brooke does. Actions consequence does. Or Kobold want to do anything while he's here?
Yeah, like he's small, so he looks practically to the waist of the guards. Does he notice anything that could help, like a rope, a piece of wire?
You're looking for like anything useful to might help you escape. There's nothing of value in the main hall apart from what the Drow have on them, their weapons, their armor. But you can try and loot the larder for the equivalent of like days' rations. You will need food if you are to get out of here, right? That's what this room is mostly useful for in that regard. Any adventuring gear that you're looking for would probably be kept in the barracks or in the quarters of these guards. When all of you approached the main hall, you went through these doors, but outside in the hallway here, there are more rooms to this outpost. That will probably get explored next session, frankly, because it is approaching end of session time. But you get a brief glimpse at the outpost in the first session. I didn't want to explore this. It's a huge map. It's humongous. So keep that in mind if you want to take Yorland's offer to escape later during the guard shift when you sneak out. If you want to stop by those barracks or those quarters to get that useful stuff, you might get a chance.
Okay.
Right now, you're just
this is like a pantry. Do they have like herbs? I will be looking like for mistletoe for good berries.
Ooh, they might. Mistletoe is a surface plant, but Drow raids on the surface are not hurt off, so if you're lucky, roll me a DC 15 investigation check. If you roll 15 or higher, you just happen to be in luck and find Mistletoe, which will serve as that spell component for good berries.
I roll it. It's 10.
10. Does Eric want to give inspiration this time, or not? Just save it for now.
Sure. Yeah.
With inspiration, it'll be a natural 20 for 18 there, which, yeah, you find Mistletoe. I'm going to say, though, in the time that you take to find Mistletoe, that is, you are not giving any more time between serving all these drow and whatnot to search for anything else, so that's all you find.
Okay.
You'll have to find food elsewhere at another chance, maybe, if you come by here again.
Okay.
Okay?
How many pieces do I get of mistletoe?
Mistletoe, as many as you need for your spell. Does it consume mistletoe? I don't think so. I think you just need a branch, right?
Ah, yeah, you're right. Like
you get the spell components for the cantrip, no problem. Yeah, seems to have went on a surface raid. All right, unless anybody, well, that's it. That's all the time we have here. You are made to serve food, clean dishes before you are ushered back to your cells, and that concludes today's labor. I'll huddle you guys all back up and push you back in the cells as I flip time forward. Eventually, Baruch, you come to consciousness, injured at 1 HP, but, you know, kept alive. The Drow appreciate you being alive, because they need you as essentially cargo, as grim as that sounds.
Right back. I've put the dog out.
Yeah, we're just about done. I'm going to conclude session in just a bit. For yonder, you are ushered back to your cells, and you hear, in a few hours' time, movement near the slave pen's gate. Those of you who see Yorlan leave his post just in time for the change of guards, you note he left the gate unlocked. He traverses away into the shadows and out of sight, likely to provide you that promised distraction to delay the exchange of guards. So for now, you are not under watch with an unlocked gate. And with that said, hopefully you'll achieve freedom come next session. Thank you so much for joining me for session 1. We'll call it here. Does anybody have any questions or comments that they would like to share?
Oh, this was fun. I'm wondering if Megan has a backup character.
She'll be
For
fine.
1 HP.
We were brought back to the gate. So, like, was it Jordan that immediately, like, brought us back and, like, immediately didn't lock the gate? Or, like, was
I'm gonna say you have time for a short rest if that's what you're asking me for.
Yes.
If you want to,
God!
if you want to use your one hit, if you want to use your one hit die and stuff, go for it. It's just you're using up your hit die. This would have been like an hour or more. The guards get exchanged, but the second shift of guards does not arrive just yet, and the gate is left open. So you'll get to explore Valken Valve in its entirety, or you can just straight shoot it out of here. Honestly, that's totally in the cards. You're probably better off trying to find some things, otherwise you'll be fighting with rocks. Yes, I've seen parties literally venture out into Underdark with their loincloth and nothing but rocks. And I'm like,
Yes.
alright, here's a CR3 fucking encounter, good luck, I guess.
Hey, if I
It's
keep
just-
saying my sharpshooters, it'll work, but rolling fours won't do anything.
You guys want to hear a funny story that Trent did last time I ran this whole thing as a one-shot?
Sure.
He played as Shushar. And he made him
Is this the one that I couldn't do?
I don't know. Anyway, it was the one that Trent was in as Shushar, and he made Shushar a bread praising fish person, like his god was bread.
Yep.
Anyways, I told them I was like newish DM back then, like newer than now, obviously. And I told them there no spells that are cast within the jail cell take effect. There's some sort of a ward or something funky going on. Trent, being Trent, bless him. He's like, no cells within the jail cell. I'm a fish person. I press my fish-ass lips outside the grates of the door, and I say, shatter. And he gets shatter outside the door. And he freed the group within 10 minutes of us starting, and they fought their way out of there without any NPC interactions taking place. And I was like, this is the shortest one-shot I've ever run. Shatter.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Sounds good.
See ya. Alright, I have to go too. Thank you for the session, Tom. That was really fun.
Yep.
Thank you, Tom. Next time, please send me some spiders in my way.
Spiders?
No.
I'm joking.
You'll have plenty of spiders. The spiders are right there on the webs, buddy. They're just waiting for you to jump down.
Yeah, wrong team. That's the problem.
I liked how you guys got the chance to like encounter the ooze, so you have a choice of like, oh no, fuck it, we're running, so it's still a threat later, or you can just deal with it, and then like on your escape, it's not like the pools are safe. I like that choice. Yeah. Consequence.
I just can't wait to get a hold of.
So funny.
Hold of what? Yeah.
To be honest, I thought he was a goner. I didn't think he was gonna make it.
No, my goal is not to kill you guys. My goal is to make you guys shit your pants. The Drow would not let you die anyways. Like, if you're ever at the risk of... nah, I'm lying. Nah.
Yeah. Like the falling into the water.
Very good sleight of hand. She rolled a 2 and 4.
That happens. The dice happen.
Yo.
You just have to accept
Yo.
failure sometimes. That happens.
Oh.
It's-
Yeah, we're too worried about being unarmed. She's a monk.
Yeah. You're unarmed. It's just that combat is like very much not in the prisoner's failure. I mean, this is a prison. If combat was an option, that would be kind of silly. Then the guards will have no point. They're not pushovers. That's why I was like, Ray of Sickness is a cantrip. That's not just something they can do. So don't get caught. And yeah, just demonstrating their power. Yeah.
There are 19 of them, so yeah, fighting is
19
a
all
pretty
around.
bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Stealth is probably advisable, softly speaking.
Yeah.
It's not hard to stealth by it. Just if you roll a 2 and a 4, then that's times the dice.
It happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not about it. So, Burke might have horrible HP, but I'm hoping one of these days that awesome, unarmed defense will save.
I'm gonna have to get the name of the guard who you try to fit shit to, because, I mean, if you let them, they'll be relevant throughout this entire campaign. Every NPC you meet can just live for the entire campaign, so they might come back.
I really wish you got away with that. We just like snicker about it amongst ourselves around the campfire, like fed them out shit.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to get
Ballsy.
my
It would have been
tools.
awesome if it worked, but it didn't. Oh well.
What are your tools?
Any form of tools. So like thieves' tools, tinker tools, smith tools, since I'm trained in them, that acts as my where is it?
Yeah, I got you.
Spellcasting focus. So if I don't have any form of tool, I can't.
Yep, your confiscated gear is kept somewhere, probably either in the barracks or somebody's quarters, or distributed among the guards. You can pickpocket guards, you can check out their rooms, maybe they have something in their possessions, maybe it's kept with the warden, which would be really unfortunate because it's Ilvara Mizrim. The Ilvara Mizrim. So, yeah. Ilvara Mizrim, I have my own HP bar, Ilvara Mizrim, yeah. Yeah.
Didn't take my hat, so I'm happy.
No, they think you look funny in a hat. they think it's ironic that you have a sun hat on where there's no sun.
Like wearing shades at night,
Yeah. If there's anything I should have done in retrospect, now I'm thinking about it, is when I escorted you guys from the cell to those locations, maybe I should have shown you guys the path that you've taken. But honestly, we'll get to that next session. It's fine. It's fine. This place is fucking darkness. How well can you navigate a cave after all? And remember it. But yeah.
Alright. Well, I'm getting off. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. See you guys next week.
One session.
Later.
Great.
Oh,
Lots of laughs.
I know. Hunter had said that he wasn't available next Thursday.
So we'll play without Hunter.
I can put it in. Sorry.
So we'll play without Hunter. He made me aware. It is what it is. It's availability. It's his job, but we can reschedule. So.
Okay.
What class is he playing?
Hunter?
Yeah.
Kilgok is a
wizard, isn't he?
warlock.
Warlock.
I'll let him tell his story. He has a pretty good one. He just didn't get into the details of it.
I was just asking, so next session, if we pick up anything that we think would be useful for him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm sure he'll
Playing
do
a
it.
wizard in this
Yeah.
campaign must be rough.
No, I'll not explain
even
to you why. Because when you have your spell book, you have those spells prepared. You need your spell book to switch spells, not to cast them. Right? So you start with the spells you have.
Like,
Like
well, because
component.
assuming that like they take all your shit and you've been locked down here for days at a time, you go several days without your spell book. You don't have your spells prepared at the start of the day.
That's not how that works. At the start of a day, you can prepare different spells, but you still remember the spells you have. You don't have to go over your spells every single day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, there's a specific section, I think I typed it out in general chat explaining just that. You can play a wizard if you want to. I'm not that cruel. Yeah, it does suck. Combat in the beginning is I throw rocks. I really want to make that point in the beginning. It's like, this is what combat is going to be like if you guys don't put effort into actually find real weapons. Hunter over there crafting skull clubs, that's good. That's improvised weapons.
I was
Yeah.
I was considering asking if they were using like knives to cut their food and stuff, and if I could like sneak one of those while I'm doing the servant work for them.
Yeah,
But
I
it slipped my mind during the mistletoe search.
they did. You can sneak, so you can definitely do that. It's just that you only have so much time that you can do. You want to play the servant and stuff. I gave you the advantage. I didn't realize you were doing something else with it as well. But it's not the last time you go to the mess hall. You can literally belay the escape plan. You get to forgo Yorland's whole thing. Like, oh, the gate remains unlocked, and you guys just wait in a cell. Guards come back, lock the gate, and it's like, okay, next day. And then next day, you guys come up with an escape plan. Yorland is no longer there to help you guys, right? Because, I mean, why would you come back? Hey, you guys didn't escape last time, so anyway, I'm going to do that shit again. No. If you guys don't want to take his help, and you want to go during hard labor hour and steal something, you can try again the next day. Or you can take Yorland's thing, escape out of the cell, and go around Valkenvelve and see if you can pocket something, right?
Yep.
Up to you.
Well, guys, see you next week. It was quite
Night.
For sure.
Bye-bye.
Lots of laughs and stuff.
Next session will be more like a dungeon explorer than just us sitting in one room talking to like 7 people. Which, by the way, those 7 people, pick one by next session. I'm gonna post it in general, but pick one that you liked, because if combat ever happens and they have weapons, they're combatable. You will control them. I can roleplay them, but I want you guys to control your own party and party members, so they'll be like your companions. If they die, it's your fault.
Oh,
But yeah.
no, I'm like trying to like come up with something deep, and then I just look over and I see Tom's face. I'm like, Tom, stop it!
Huh?
Oh, when I was trying to talk with Bibimbap, and like I'm trying to like come up with something, and like I'm like being slow, and then I look over to my side monitor, and I see.
Dude's a coke fiend. He doesn't have patience for your like buffering thought. He's like, yes. Okay, cool. You seem to be in your own world. I have a plan. I'll get this out of here, yeah. They're also useful, though. I like them. I like how they're all different personalities and they all have their uses and knowledge. Except nobody talked to my mushroom person.
The mushroom person wasn't there originally.
Okay. Anyways.
You the one that released spores? We could talk to that thing.
The little cat thing. The little...
I did not even consider trying to talk to it.
There will be time. Listen,
It was
running
like an animal.
7 NPCs already is already madness for me. I'm like, oh, give them each a voice. What does a fish person sound like? Like that. Fucking. My name is Shushar. I don't know.
Oh my god, the name of the word was from. What was that shit again?
Blip bloop bloop, whatever.
Shoo bloop bloop.
Shoo bloop bloop. I love Kotor. They're great. I love their language.
Well, good night. Thank you, Tom.
Yep.